So good to be here. So good to have you here with us as well. As always, I am Celine, and with me from left to right, if you look at the sprite collection there, you've got me, and then Sarah, Arday, Kurt, and Fang. We are the Woodling system. We are a plural system that plays video games, that does art streams, various things, a variety of things. We try to keep things cozy. We try to keep things, a lot of the games we do are kind of off the trail stuff. A lot of the art stuff we do is just cozy. A lot of the games we do are just cozy. We just kind of try and make a nice little spot for you all to hang out, and that is why this is the Warm Fuzzy Game Room. And it's so good to have you all. I see Saria Song is here tonight, Silver Star, Detherian, Orchid and Friends, and of course everyone here who may be lurking. You are of course welcome to say something if you want, and if you don't, you are welcome not to as well. However, you should never feel obligated one way or the other. We just want whatever is more comfortable for everyone. We just want everyone to enjoy this stream in whatever way they're comfortable, because it's all about coziness here. Sorry for the delay getting started. I just had to go, grab some leg warmers, grab a blanket, and kind of get bundled up because it's getting a little cold in here, but I'm all nice and cozy now, and hopefully you will be too. That is the name of the name of the game in this stream, after all. So thank you all so much for enjoying us. So tonight, what we're gonna do, we have some CDI stuff to get to, and it's been a while since we've done that, so I might need to fill some of our newer viewers in on what exactly is going on here. So to do that, let's just lean over and see if we can get this system turned on here. It should take us to this menu, hopefully. It should not be launching the game already. The disk is... Okay, hold on. Hold on. Technical difficulties, please stand by. That was actually working a bit too well. I wanted it to not recognize the disk when I loaded it up, so it'd take you to the system menu first. So I kind of had the lid open a little when I started it, specifically so that it should be like, hey, you dummy, close the lid before we can actually read this thing. But it apparently just thought it was fine and just went and did it anyway, which is a little concerning. So I went and stopped that because I don't want to just run this with the lid open. That sounds bad. Okay, here we go. So now we're in the CDI menu for the system itself. So a little bit on our setup for those who have not seen a CDI before, or seen a CDI stream before. Well, maybe you haven't seen a CDI before. It might be a little before your time, and it wasn't exactly a huge success. But so this is an old console. We are playing this completely on hardware. There really is no CDI emulation scene to speak of. Like, you might think, why don't you just emulate this? Wouldn't it be easier? No, you can't. And in fact, that's why a lot of the CDI games are kind of lost media now. Like, you can't just go get a ROM because there isn't one. You can't just... on some of the more popular ones, you can just go on YouTube and watch gameplay footage. Vio, hello, good to see you. But that's just for the ones that people decided were popular enough that there's footage on them. Like, there's a lot of games out there that are just overlooked to the point where I think what started me on this journey is we grew up with a copy of the Story of Jonah, which is an Interlight Bible edutainment game that my grandparents had when I was younger. They had it. They had a CDI and a bunch of games, including that one, literally as just something for the grandkids to do when they visited, just a video game console to keep them entertained. So I grew up with that one, and then like as an adult, I went to like try and show some footage of it to our friends, and there just wasn't any. There just was like no one on the internet had any Story of Jonah, or there was a pack-in game with it called Lost Sheep. There was like no Lost Sheep footage anywhere. So we went and got this whole setup. We got a CDI, we got a RetroTink scan converter so that it can be fed into the capture card. We got a capture card. We got all this stuff so that we could stream Lost Sheep, just so that there was footage of it. And now there is. We have what I believe is, as of this recording, the only Lost Sheep footage on the internet, which is, on one hand, it's an honor, but on the other, I'm kind of, it's a little worrying that we're the only ones. Like, it'd be a little more comforting if other people out there were backing us up on this, but if it's up to us, then it's up to us. So you'll see in the CDI stream, in the CDI menu here, it's got the date and time here. It's 10:35, November 18th, 2022, as of this recording. The fact that this system actually keeps track of the time to this accurate an extent, believe it or not, there's what's called a timekeeper chip inside the CDI consoles themselves, which is kind of like the console battery and like the save game battery in like a Pokemon game, but it's just it's a battery inside the system that helps keep time, but it's like in the console itself, which doesn't feel like it's that important thing to run out, like whatever. So I don't know what time it is anymore. Like I've got other clocks in the house, but no, actually, if the timekeeper chip fails, then the entire system just stops working. You cannot, and that's the other reason that it's really hard to do CDI preservation stuff. Like, not only can you not emulate it, so okay, you just get the hardware and everything. Well, if your timekeeper chip dies, then you need to get the timekeeper replaced with a fresh one, or the entire console is just a brick. So we, with the help of the CDI preservation community, particularly Rosewood of retrostuff.org, were fortunately able to look up what the issue was, identify, oh, it's a dead timekeeper. Here's the new timekeeper chip you're going to need. Here's the exact soldering method you need to get it fixed and everything. We didn't actually do that ourselves, but we took all those instructions to like a repair shop with the new timekeeper and everything. They were able to do that. So thank you so much for, just another shout out to the CDI community, to Rosewood in particular, for the reason that we're able to stream this stuff for you. The reason we actually have a working CDI player again. Anyway, so what we're gonna do, I mentioned that we grew up with a copy of, or my grandparents had that copy of Story of Jonah with the Lost Sheep pack-in game. So when I went to go track that down to stream it, and I needed to find a copy on eBay and everything, I saw the Interlight bundle of like all the Bible games that Interlight ever made, which I never even, I'm the one who's we're the ones who are a big enough fan of this series to have like the only, or series of that particular game, to have like the only footage of it on the internet as of this stream. And even we didn't know that they made more of them. Wait, there are other Interlight games? They made other stuff besides Story of Jonah / Lost Sheep? So of course we had to get that whole bundle. And that is what brings us to this stream. So now we are going to go through some of the other games which we've actually never played or experienced before, so I don't even know what are on these discs. So hopefully they at least work. The thing about the reason we're doing these streams now is like older media, including CDs and CDIs and DVDs and everything, they do like bit rot is a thing. These will not last forever. So I'm hoping we can at least, stream these before the discs fail. But I haven't. This is like the first time we've tried booting this. Well, it's not the first time we've tried. Okay, so when I was doing the sound check for this stream, I did just get as far as like the splash screen, the Interlight logo, just to make sure that that the sound levels were okay. But I've never seen like the title menu or anything farther than that. So this is definitely new to us. So let's go ahead and update the status now. This one is. CDI Interlight. Is there enough? Now I'll put that on the next line. So these are all by a company called Interlight, Interlight International or Interlight Productions. This one CDI Interlight Bible. Interlight Entertainment. Interlight Bible. This is, which one is this? So we're doing these chronologically, other than Story of Jonah, which we did already, which was like in the middle of the catalog. We're doing these by the ones, like the order they released these. So I believe this is the first Interlight game they've released, and it is Moses Bound for the Promised Land. Moses Bound for the Promised Land. We need to save an extra line here. Exploring Entertainment Bible discs. Let's just do that. There we go. Here's our current status. So we can go ahead and get into this. Let's go ahead and close the lid. And now we can actually launch this game. Let's go ahead and switch over. Okay, well let's stop the music. We don't need the music anymore. And let's switch over to the version of this screen that trades the now playing thing for just the little flare there, because we're not listening to music anymore. And then let's just go ahead and turn this off and back on with the lid closed this time, with the disc in there. So now it should boot. And we will be bound for the Promised Land, I suppose. So already, as someone who's played a lot of the Story of Jonah / Lost Sheep, both growing up and when we got into our streaming career, like you can see our Lost Sheep streams in our previous VODs and highlights and everything. I can tell you the Interlight Productions splash screen here, which is the Journeyman projectist thing I've ever seen. That is like everything up to this Moses Bound for the Promised Land screen there. That all looks very familiar. The layout of this menu looks very familiar. This all looks a lot like. So if this was the first game they made, I assume they just took this formula and just like, I don't even want to call this an engine, but like every Story of Jonah had the exact same thing. So this option in the middle here is to watch the video, because what this actually is like it's kind of a half hour or so like cartoon, I think, which was supposed to be the point of this disc. It's a cartoon with just like little pack in, the playroom over here, which Jonah had one of those too, in the same spot, no less. This is just going to have like little connect the dot puzzles, some sing-alongs and stuff. I know we're trying to preserve everything here, but I feel like I don't have it in my heart to subject you all to the sing-alongs. The about this disc there, this just has some there's a little Bible viewer. Here's a little thing to, so when we're going to be watching the movie, if this works anything like a Story of Jonah did, there will be times during the cartoon where you can press a button to see more about a particular topic, which I believe you can either do that from the cartoon, or here's just a list of, yeah, here's just a list of if you want to watch the Tell Me More parts directly. What if they want to sing along? Well, see, I'm really torn on that, and I was torn on that on the I'm assuming it's going to have, the playroom's going to have the same thing. I was torn on that on the Story of Jonah too, because it's like no one has footage of this disc anywhere, right? So we want to preserve the lost media here and everything. Like if we don't play these songs that are whatever's on the list here, we don't need to see the slider puzzles and stuff like that, because they're just going to be stills from the cartoon that are just scrambled around. But like if we don't play these songs, you're not going to find footage of them anywhere else. That, like, this is it. If we don't do it, no one will. So these songs could just be lost if we don't. But like on the other hand, I know it's a big I already feel like it's a big ask to make you watch, you know, a children's edutainment Bible cartoon, you know, just the main feature itself. Do I really have the heart to subject you to the music? Like, if you don't hear it, if we don't play it, no one will. But like, can we really? I don't know. I feel like we're gonna lose all our viewers if we play these. You know, I. No, I don't. I'm not trying to say the sing along can burn. I'm just saying, like, it's a lot of, like, as someone who's heard all the ones on the Story of Jonah, I can say some of the songs are listenable, some of them are just really bad, and I don't know. Okay, you know what? We'll play one, and if it's actually, no, what? No, I changed my mind. We'll do that after the cartoon, because it'll probably have stills from the cartoon. So to avoid spoilers, we'll watch the cartoon first before we do anything else. We'll watch the cartoon. But we will come back and play at least one. Anyway, so yeah, you've got the playroom. You've got, you know, it's got the Tell Me More. So you've got the cartoon itself is in the middle. Again, this is the same layout as Story of Jonah, where you've got Tell Me More, Playroom, About This Disc, the Bible. This is where they had lost sheep in the Story of Jonah, which if you've ever seen our lost sheep streams, if not, just go watch those. But if you have, that is the main attraction to this disc, to these discs, besides the cartoon themselves. Like, the playroom stuff is just your basic sing-alongs and stuff. This is some kind of like actual game, like semi full-fledged game. Like this is where Lost Sheep was on the Story of Jonah disc. So here, instead of Lost Sheep, we have Desert Quest. I don't know what that is. I'm very excited to find out if it's half as intriguing as Lost Sheep is, because boy, have we had a lot to say about Lost Sheep over all the Lost Sheep streams we've had. So we'll definitely check that out next. But what we want to do is first watch the cartoon, then we'll do at least one of the songs, maybe the rest, but I don't know. Well, at least one, and then you can make up your mind on the rest of them. But then I definitely want to see Desert Quest too. I'm excited about that. But let's actually, first thing we want to do, I want to see the About This Disc, and I want to see if it's the same one that the Story of Jonah had, because we've seen that one definitely. But like, is this the same video? Did they just record one About Us video and put it in all their discs? I guess we're about to find out.
As parents, teachers, or anyone associated closely with children, you are aware of the timely need for wholesome children's entertainment.
Yeah, I think this is the same one, which is fine because this is amazing.
The Children's Bible series in CDI
like, this is very clippable. There's a lot of stuff in here.
CDI technology provides a new and exciting medium to enlighten, educate, and entertain today's children. Interlight's Bible stories and activities are designed to encourage strong biblical morals and ethics. Children learn valuable lessons based exclusively on the Bible while having many hours of fun. We suggest that the CDI Bible series be a supplement to your
like the meow with the arrow is my favorite. It's not even like cat with an arrow. It's not even like pointing at the cat like this is a cat. It's meow. That's your meow right there.
Is to provide children and adults alike with the much needed biblical truth that will strengthen and encourage them in the years to come.
Very, very meow. That calls for a Syria meow. Facts about the news. Oh, so they do some New Testament stuff. I was wondering about that because the Interlight bundle are like all the Interlight games we have. There are 6 of them, and they're all Old Testament stuff. We've got like 2 Moses ones, story of Jonah, story of Samson, Noah's Ark. What was the last one? It'll come to me. David and Goliath. Also, if you are any of the people listed here, or you know any of the people listed here, or you have the contact info for any of the people listed here, if this video somehow finds its way into the hands of any of these people, we want to talk to you. We want to like arrange an interview or something, because I have so many questions about what it was like working for Interlight, what it was like making these, like what the office environment was like, how did these come together? I want to know more about behind the scenes, the singers, the songwriters, the artists, producers. If you work for Interlight, if your name is anywhere here, we want to talk to you. And I don't know if this is ever going to happen because we don't have a huge following. I think the odds of this video reaching any of these people are fairly small, but you never know. Just putting that out there. Just on the off chance that you have any connection to any of this, we want to talk to you. We want to interview you. We want to learn more. We want to preserve everything we can about this whole experience. Okay, fair enough. All right, so this will be the cartoon. So for those who weren't here when we watched the Story of Jonah cartoon, I am going to be talking over it. Sounds wrong. I'm not going to be like, I'm not going to be doing Mystery Science Theater. Like, I'm not going to be doing that on purpose, but I will be providing some commentary, and anytime at all there's like the press a button to tell me more prompt comes up, we're going to take it and interrupt the cartoon just to hear more. 2 reasons for that. One, that helps showcase the tell me more content in addition to the cartoon. Instead of having to do those separately, we can do them all at once. And 2, that makes this more of an interactive experience, and I'm afraid of getting hit with some kind of copyright situation. If we just sat still and like played a perfectly silent, perfectly clean copy of this movie, that probably runs afoul of just, you can't just get on Twitch and just like play movies. We're here for games. But if I'm commenting, and if I'm pressing buttons to see the tell me more stuff, and especially if we're checking out Desert Quest and everything, this is a game. We're streaming a game right now, and therefore it's okay. And if you want a cleaner copy of the movie itself, I'm sorry. I wish I could provide that for you, but out of respect of not getting our channel taken down, this is about the best we can do. So Thank you, Say. Yeah, 100%. Well, I didn't. Okay, the 100% Lost Sheep run is like 7 minutes 30 seconds. It's not quite 30 seconds. It's 30 seconds, but it's like also that and another 7 minutes. But you were close, I guess. So the interesting thing about this one. This is Moses bound for the Promised Land. So this comes after the Exodus.
A long time ago, God saw that the people he loved, the Israelites, were suffering in the country of Egypt. Because he loved them, God chose Moses to lead the Israelites out of Egypt and away from their suffering. He wanted Moses to lead the people to the beautiful land he had promised to their forefathers.
But the thing is,
journey, the Israelites
they,
sometimes forgot
Interlight
that God
made,
had delivered them from
like I said, there are
slavery,
two
and they
Moses games.
complained
There's
to
an
Moses.
Exodus one,
But God
and there's
always
Journey to the
provided for
Promised
them.
Land.
When they were
So
hungry,
you'd think this would be
God
the sequel,
provided food
right?
called
But I'm
manna.
doing these in
When
release
they were
order.
thirsty,
This
God
is,
turned bitter
from
water
what
into
I'm
fresh
told
water
from
they
Moby
could
Games
drink.
page anyway, this is the first Interlight. This is the first one they
Obey
did.
God and all he tells you, and he will bring you to the promised land.
They must have went back and like done the Exodus later or
God
something,
had told
if
the
that's true.
Israelites that if they were willing
But
to
like this
obey
is
him, he
91
would
and
treasure them
Exodus is
forever.
92.
Then God told Moses to bring Aaron back up with him to the top of Mount Sinai. It was here on Mount Sinai that God
So,
gave Moses the Ten
That's why we're
Commandments.
doing this in a weird
These
order.
were God's
but,
commandments that the Israelites, as his people, were to obey.
These are my 10
gotta tell me more.
commandments, Moses. Remember them and tell them.
The Ten Commandments.
Here are the Ten Commandments, which you will find in Exodus chapter 20 in your Bible. Number 1, do not worship other gods. This rule tells us two things. We are forbidden to worship things like golden calves. We may only worship God. Also, God should come first in our lives. We should never put anything or
Easier to
anyone on
make
the
a game
same
about
level
people
as
walking
God.
around than actually having a story in your
Number
game.
2,
I guess.
do not make idols of God to worship. Do not make idols in the shape of anything in heaven or earth or below the waters to worship. We must have faith that God exists.
Give or take
and not
7
use
minutes.
anything to
Correct.
take his place.
Bible
Number
speed
3,
runs, yes.
do not
We
misuse God's name.
currently have the
All
world
the names
record
that we call God
for
are holy
lost
and
sheep,
should not be
100%
used in
completion.
a joking or
We
rude
found
way.
every single sheep
God is all-powerful,
and got out
his
and
name
everything
should never
in
be
about
misused.
7 minutes, 30 seconds, something
Number
like that.
4,
And that is
Sabbath
also
day holy
currently the only
use it
run,
to
because
worship
again,
God,
if
not
you
to
want to
work.
try and beat
The
that,
Sabbath
there's
day
no
is the day
emulation
God
scene to speak
wants
of or
us to
anything.
use for worship and reflection about our lives and our relationship with Him. God knows us very well.
See,
He
I wouldn't
knows that
know.
we
I'm
need
just kind
some
of taking
time
their
to
word for it.
rest
I've actually
during our
heard a
busy
couple
week.
different lists. Isn't there like one in
Number
Exodus and
5,
one in
honor your father and your mother.
somewhere else somewhere that
parents
they're
are
like
our
different
first
lists?
teachers.
I don't know. I haven't.
Through them we learn to
I'm not.
recognize and submit
I'm not
to
a Bible
God's
scholar,
authority.
but
By honoring our parents, we
yeah.
learn
So
to
if you want to
respect,
beat our lost
love,
sheep
and
record, since
honor
there's
other
no emulation
Number
scene to
6,
speak of or
do
anything,
not murder anyone.
you kind of have to,
Murder
you
is
know,
against
go get a
God's laws as
CDI
well as our
player, go
government's
get a
laws.
working timekeeper law or
Number
timekeeper
7,
chip.
do not commit
Freudian
adultery.
slip there. Get a
God's
timekeeper
plan is
chip
for a
if your
man and
CDI is
woman
broken.
who marry
Get a
to
copy
form an
of
unbreakable bond
Lost
with each
Sheep
other.
or Story of
When
Jonah,
they
of
do,
course. You know,
they
you
make
have to get
sure
the
their
whole hardware
children
set
will
up
grow up in a safe,
if you want to
secure
compete
place.
with us.
When the marriage bond is broken, when a man or woman wants to be with someone else, the family's harmony is
timekeepers.
destroyed.
Fortunately, we only needed the
Number
one.
8, do not steal. In this commandment, God clearly says that each of us has a right to own our property. No one should take someone else's property without permission. Number 9, do not tell lies about your neighbors. Lying only causes problems. God knows that and gave us this rule to make our lives more simple. Number 10, do not desire what your neighbors have or own. God forbids us to be greedy, to want things that other people have. Sometimes it's very hard not to want what our friends have, but greed gets in the way of our love for God. It destroys our ability to put Him first in our lives. The 10 Commandments teach us to live with God and other people.
So
They are the basic rules for our
those
lives.
sure are some characters. Those tablets are written in there. I'm just going to take their word for it that that's what those roughly translate to. I can't say
It
I've
was
ever
here
seen
on
that
Mount
system of
Sinai
writing
that
before.
God gave Moses the 10 Commandments. These were God's commandments that the Israelites, as his people, were to obey.
These are my 10 commandments, Moses. Remember them and tell them to my people. Do not worship other gods.
Are we gonna get all of them again?
Do not make
Is the
idols
tell me more
in the
thing
shape of
just
anything
like
in heaven, on earth, or below the waters to
really?
worship.
So you listed all 10 of the commandments
misuse
with an
my
optional
name.
tell me more thing, but the tell me more thing
Keep
was just
the
listing all
Sabbath
10 of them
day
again.
holy, and use it to worship me.
Oh, okay.
not to
Sarah
work.
points out this just lists them. The tell me more
Honor
like
your father and
explains
mother.
and expounds on each of them. Okay, I
Do
I
not
guess
murder anyone.
I guess that's okay.
Do
Valid.
not commit adultery.
Good point.
Do not steal.
Sarah also says she's that
Do
meow
not
with
tell
the
lies
arrow.
about your neighbors.
Yes.
Do not desire
Sarah's
what
a
your
good meow.
neighbors have.
Moses told his people the commandments God gave them to follow. Then God called him to come back up Mount Sinai. Moses left his brother Aaron in charge of the Israelites. And even though Aaron and the people knew the
Those are some
commandments they
facial
were supposed to
expressions.
obey, they decided to disobey God.
Hold on, I think we've got another one here. Having watched the Story of Jonah cartoon, that's definitely the
In
same
the story
artist.
of
You can
Moses,
tell from
the
the
Israelites began
the
to
facial
doubt Moses.
expressions.
They had waited for days for Moses to
Those
return
are
from
those
Mount
are some
Sinai,
classic
where he was
Interlight
speaking to
facial
God.
expressions right
As
there.
they began to doubt Moses, the Israelites asked Aaron to make them a god that they could see. Aaron fashioned a young bull out of gold. When Moses returned and saw that
Yeah.
Aaron had made an idol, he broke the stone tablets
Exactly,
God had
Cabana.
given
Who
him.
would do anything like
Then
that?
he destroyed the golden calf. Moses knew the people had committed idolatry, or the worship of idols. God had forbidden worshiping idols in the second commandment. God didn't want people to worship him by using idols, nor did God want people to worship idols that represented other gods. The word idol comes from the Greek word for image. The golden calf was a familiar image to the Israelites. The Egyptians worshipped a calf-like creature and other animal-like images. The Egyptians also worshipped the sun and the Nile River. Have you wondered why the Israelites would worship a golden calf? Perhaps they were frightened during the time that Moses was gone. Or maybe they thought that having something they could see and touch would protect them. It's not always easy to stand firm and believe God's promises when hearts are fearful and problems are very real.
Are you sure that's a
Because
calf?
God is invisible to us, sometimes we're
What
tempted to
what
take comfort
what is
in things
what's
we can
going
see
on
and
with the
touch.
head there?
We don't
like,
build golden bulls anymore.
is it
but
wearing a
it's
hat,
very
or
easy to want to have
what?
things like fancy clothes or possessions to make us feel secure and special. God told us not to put other people or
Yeah,
things before Him. If
So
we
yeah,
love
so
and
we're
worship
not
the
j-
true
just
God, His
to
Son, Jesus Christ,
just
and
for the
Holy
record,
Spirit,
for
our
anyone
hearts
watching this.
and
So
minds will be
us woodlings,
satisfied.
we are not formally religious or anything like that. We are approaching these games from a preservationist standpoint. We're here
Then
because we
God
like
called
old
him to
CDI
come back up
games,
Mount
and
Sinai.
like
Moses
these are
left his
completely
brother Aaron in
unpreserved.
charge of
We
the
have the
Israelites.
only
And
lost
even
sheep
though
footage
Aaron
on
and
the internet.
people knew the
You know,
commandments they
it's
were
not
supposed to
because
obey,
we're
they
that
decided
devout
to
or anything.
disobey
It's
God.
because CDI entertainment and
We've
you know,
given up on Moses and this
things
God
like
who
that.
loves so much.
I don't know.
Well, he's given us nothing but pain
I just
and
feel
suffering.
like
We want our
these
own
need
God,
to
a God
not
we
be
can see and a
forgotten.
God we can touch.
I'm not necessarily espousing or agreeing
you
with the
with us,
message or
Aaron?
anything, but I just think
We're going
that
to worship
they
our own
need
God.
to,
You're
you
in
know,
charge, Aaron.
I think lost media
Give me
preservation
your
is
earrings.
important.
Go to your friends.
I
Tell
think
everyone
that
to collect
it's-
their gold earrings and bring
That
them
that
to
I
me.
even if
I
I'm
will make
not
you a God you can feel and
religious,
see.
even if we're not
A God
religious,
you can touch
we
when
would
you
rather
need to
this
pray.
be, you know, out there than just be
While
like
you have
have
been
this
here with me, Moses,
have CDI games that are
people
just
have
completely
disobeyed
lost to
me.
the ages. Because once this
They have
disc
convinced
dies,
your
because it's
brother
gonna die
Aaron
eventually,
to make them
bit
a
rot is a
golden
thing.
calf to worship.
if we
When
don't
the
have this
Lord
footage
finished
out there,
speaking to Moses
then
on Mount
oh, was
Sinai,
there another one?
he
Did we just
gave
miss
him
one?
the two
Oops.
tablets of stone that were written on
We
by
might
the
come back to
finger
it, I
of
guess.
God. But when Moses
Oh no, I
found
think that
the
might have been the same
Israelites
one.
disobeying God's commandments,
Yeah,
he
that is
became
absolutely the
extremely
Lost Sheep
angry.
artist, or the Story of Jonah artist.
I'm
Yeah, like
ashamed of you.
if this just would not exist, if this disc
I
died
am most ashamed
and
of
no
you,
one,
Aaron.
you know, all the copies
My
of this game
own
just
brother.
like rotted away and were unreadable, and no
What
one
did
had
these
footage of
people
this
do
on
to
the
you
internet.
that you would
It was just
disobey
gone.
God's laws?
That just
Moses,
doesn't sit right
You
with
know
me.
how difficult these people can be. What did you expect me to do? They demanded a god they could see, so I asked them for their gold jewelry. They gave me the gold, and I threw it into the fire, and out came this calf.
Yeah, don't
Moses
you hate
was
it when you
very
just like
angry with
randomly
Aaron
throw
for
jewelry
being
in a
so
fire
weak.
and just like that
God was
perfectly
also
sculpted
angry with the
calf
Israelites.
just kind
The
of comes
Israelites
out?
knew they had sinned,
It's like,
and they
oops, damn
mourned
it.
about their sin.
I was just trying to make an ingot, but like
Moses
I
went back to the
accidentally
top
made
of
another
Mount Sinai
ornately
to
decorated
ask
golden
God to
calf.
forgive the Israelites. Once again, Moses was with God. During
The-
this
the
time,
animation
God
is very
rewrote his
smooth.
laws on 2 stone tablets.
The
He
thing
gave
that
Moses many
strikes us,
specific
especially
instructions for the
after this
Israelites to
and
follow.
the Story of Jonah cartoon, the
Because
facial
Moses had been in
expressions
God's
are
presence for 40 days
incredible.
and 40 nights,
Uh,
his face
they're
glowed
not
so
quite
much that the
animation
Israelites
magic
could hardly
like,
look
you
at
know,
him.
CDI Zelda, like YouTube poop tier, but they are
God
close.
told Moses to build
Those
a
are
tabernacle.
definitely
So
some
the
CDI
Israelites began to
facial
work each
expressions.
day building the place to
But
worship
like
God.
the animation is smooth. It's not
For many
choppy or
years,
anything like that.
Moses
It's just
and the Israelites wandered
just
in the
wow,
desert.
those are some
If
faces.
you and I tried to walk across the United States by foot, we might have an idea of what their journey was like. For Moses and the Israelites, there were no cities, hotels, or restaurants, nor were there any churches. The Israelites slept in tents and cooked their food over fires. They also carried their church with them. It was called a tabernacle. The tabernacle was a portable church made out of a tent. Each time the Israelites made camp, they set up the tabernacle. God told Moses exactly how to build the tabernacle and gave each Israelite a job. God asked the Israelites to donate or give everything needed to build the tabernacle.
To donate or
The
give.
tabernacle was a very elaborate structure. It was made of the most valuable possessions the Israelites owned. Gold, silver, and bronze, the most precious metals available, were used throughout the tabernacle. Fine cloth and valuable animal skins were dyed bright red, purple, scarlet, and blue. Then, they embroidered the fabrics and made them into coverings for the building. Wood from the acacia tree,
Okay, that's
a dark and
a good
durable
point.
lumber,
That's a good
held up
point,
the walls
actually.
and was
Yeah.
used to build the tabernacle and
This
the
is
Ark of
for
the
ages
Covenant.
like 5 to 11,
The
I guess.
tabernacle was
Maybe
surrounded by a
they
wall
don't
of
know the word
curtains,
donate yet.
150 feet long
Fair
and
enough.
75
Fair enough.
feet wide.
Got us there.
The curtains were made of linen and were about 7 feet high. Pillars supported the linen curtains, and silver hooks held them up at the top. The entrance to the courtyard of the tabernacle was on the east wall. The people who came to worship entered there. Inside, an altar made of acacia wood and bronze occupied the middle of the clearing. The tabernacle itself was opposite the entrance. It was a rectangular building 45 feet long and 15 feet wide. The tabernacle was divided
This
into two
seems
parts.
like kind of a
First was the holy place.
getting
Second
into the
was the
weeds
holiest
of the
holy
math
places.
here and everything for an audience that
Embroidered
doesn't know
curtains
the
and wooden
word
pillars
donate
overlaid
yet.
with gold screened the
Like
tabernacle
if
from
you're
view.
too young to know the word
first
donate,
room
I
held
feel
a
like the
table
rest
where
of this
offerings
might
were
be a
placed.
little complex
The
as
room
well.
also held
But
a menorah, a 7-branched candelabra made of gold. There was also an incense
oh
altar
yeah,
made of gold.
don't say what a
Here,
candelabra
the priest
is.
burned
You can go ahead
incense
and say
as
what
an offering
donate
to
is in
God.
case we're too young for that. But
The next
you know,
room,
a candelabra,
the
yeah,
holiest of holy
you just
places,
you know,
contained
it's a
the Ark of the
candelabra.
Covenant.
That's a
The
word
Ark
that
held the
5-year-olds
tablets
have.
of the law which God had given Moses. If you want to know more about it, click on the Ark of the Covenant Tell Me More menu icon. God told Moses that a cloud would form over the tabernacle. The cloud showed God's presence. The Israelites traveled only when the cloud lifted into the sky. When the
That
cloud
is
stayed
actually
on top of the
I do find
tabernacle,
that kind of interesting.
The Israelites stayed in camp. the Israelites continued to carry the tabernacle throughout their journeys in the desert. It was a very important part of their
Yeah,
life.
that's true.
The priests made sacrifices for the Israelites' sins in this tabernacle, which helped them to maintain a close relationship with God.
God told Moses to build a tabernacle. So the Israelites began to work each day, building the place to worship God. Many things were needed to complete the tabernacle. The Israelites offered what they had. They were obedient to God. The Israelites brought so many offerings
David,
that Moses
hello.
had to tell them to stop.
Yeah, and so is
Moses
that
was
video,
pleased
apparently.
Because the people had been generous, and the builders had all they needed to complete the tabernacle.
The tabernacle that God told us to build is almost complete. Each of you has done what God asked. All of you have worked very hard. Each of you is blessed.
From that day forward, the Israelites traveled only when the cloud over the tabernacle lifted into the sky. When the cloud stayed put, they did too. The Israelites knew that the presence of God was in the cloud. Much time had passed since the Israelites
And there are some more Interlight
obediently
faces
built the
right there.
tabernacle as God had instructed. They had traveled far, and they were starting to become impatient again. The people were not satisfied with the manna God had given them. They complained until they got what they wanted. God sent them quail, more than they could even count. But God punished the people with a deadly plague because they had complained about the manna he had provided for food. The Lord told Moses that one man from each tribe should be chosen to explore the land of Canaan. He told Moses it was the promised land. God told Moses to instruct the people to bring back some of the fruit of the land for all to see. After 40 days, the men returned.
We are glad you have safely returned to us. Now tell us everything you saw in Canaan, our promised land.
Canaan is a good land, Moses. It is fertile and beautiful, just as God said.
He's right, Moses. It's beautiful and a paradise for crops and cattle. But there is a serious problem.
It's the people, Moses. They're much larger and far stronger than we are. There's no way we can defeat them in a battle.
Quiet, all of you. You're lying because you're afraid. We should go up and take the land. We can do it.
Except Caleb and Joshua, none of the explorers trusted God, and they wanted to scare the people into being afraid to enter the promised land.
why is
Even in
like
God's presence, the
taking
stories
it their
they
first
told
thought
spread
though?
among the people that night, and the people started to complain.
Like, it's just the assumption is just, well, we're here,
Taking us into that
and there are
land
other
only
people
to let
here.
us die.
I guess our options are either like beat them up and kick them out, or just not have the land. Like there's no kind of peaceful coexistence or anything.
Land. Don't turn against the Lord. Don't be afraid of the people in that land.
We will swallow them up. They have no protection, but we have the Lord. With God's help, we can defeat them.
Yes, we can do it.
Yeah, once again, very
The
smooth
Israelites didn't
animation,
believe that God
very
would protect them and
Interlight
help
facial
them take
expressions
their
there.
promised land. To punish the people for their disbelief, God told Moses that none of the people who disobeyed him would enter the promised land. Instead,
Aren't they,
the
though?
Israelites would have to wander in the desert for 40
Like,
years.
I'm not here to critique,
Even
you
though
know,
they
the
had
Bible
learned
stories
over
or
and over
anything.
again
I'm
that
not.
it was
We're
wrong
not.
to
We're
disobey
trying.
God, they
We're not
always
here to
seemed
be
to
anti-religious.
start
Like, we're not
complaining
religious,
again.
but we're not here to like
God told Moses he
mock
would
you
give
or
the
anything if you're
Israelites a
religious.
sign
Like, that's
to
fine.
end
But
their grumbling.
I do
The staff
find that a
belonging
little
to the
odd.
man I choose will sprout, and I will rid myself of this constant grumbling against you by the Israelites.
Each man who was head of one of the 12 tribes of Israel gave Moses his staff. Among
For Moses and the Israelites, life was a lot different than it is for you and me. The Israelites wandered through the desert for years and years, Instead of living in a house or an apartment, they camped out each night. The Israelites didn't have a church with a tall steeple,
That
or
I
even a
didn't
Sunday
know.
school building to go to each week. They went to a church in a tent. The tent was called a tabernacle. Each time they moved, they folded up the tabernacle tent and carried it with them. Inside the tabernacle, the Israelites kept the things that were most sacred to their worship.
Didn't we just see this
Deep
one?
inside the tabernacle, in the most secluded and safest place, stood the Ark of the Covenant.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Ark
This
is
is
a word
different.
you might
Okay.
have heard before. It appears over 100 times in the Bible. In Latin, ark means to enclose. Noah built a large enclosed wooden ship that was called an ark. The Ark of the Covenant was also used to enclose something. It held the tablets of law that God gave Moses on Mount Sinai. Other valuable things were kept inside too. There was a gold jar of manna, the food God provided when the Israelites were starving in the desert. The priest also put Aaron's staff in the Ark of the Covenant. The staff budded and bloomed overnight at God's command. Through the miracle of the staff, God chose Aaron to lead the Israelites and to stop their grumbling. The tablets, the manna, and Aaron's staff reminded the Israelites of God's promise to love and care for them, to lead them safely through the desert, and to deliver them to the promised land. Because the tablets inside the ark were a sign of God's promise, or covenant, the ark was called the Ark of the Covenant. The Ark of the Covenant was a great deal smaller than Noah's Ark. It was 3 3/4 feet long, 2 1/4 feet high, and 2 1/4 feet wide. Like everything else in the tabernacle, the Ark of the Covenant was made of the most valuable materials that the Israelites owned. It was carved of wood from the acacia tree. Acacia was used because it was a very hard and durable wood. The acacia wood was covered with sheets of gold. The Ark of the Covenant had golden rings attached to each corner. Poles were fitted through the rings so that the ark could be easily carried. It had a lid, which was made of solid gold, called the mercy seat. The mercy seat was considered to be
I feel like a
God's throne.
solid gold box
Two
of that
angel-like
size would be
cherubim
kind of
made of
heavy,
gold were
though,
also a
even
part of
with
the
the
golden
carrying
lid.
mechanism.
The cherubim faced the lid of the Ark of the Covenant with their wings spread overhead to shelter the most holy of
Like,
holy
gold
places.
is not a light
The Ark
material.
of the Covenant was so sacred.
Anyone who's
that it
ever
was
tried to
kept out
pick
of
up like a
eyesight in the
gold
most
ingot,
sacred part
like
of
an
the
actual
tabernacle.
gold ingot, which
Only
I
the
haven't,
high
of course,
priest could
because,
lift it, and then
you know,
only
we're
on very special
only
occasions.
rich people
In the
ever
book
get
of
to see a gold
Revelation,
ingot in their lives.
John
But
tells
like,
us where the Ark of the Covenant is now.
these things are not
Chapter
light
11,
from
verse
what we're told.
19 says that God's temple in heaven was opened, and within his temple was seen the Ark of his covenant.
Oh, okay, okay.
The staff belonging to the man I choose will sprout, and I will rid myself of this constant grumbling against you by the Israelites.
Each man who was head of one of the 12 tribes of Israel gave Moses his staff. Among them was Aaron, Moses' brother, who was head of the tribe of Levi. God said the staff that sprouted would show them which man he had chosen to be the high priest. Not only did Aaron's staff sprout, but it budded, bloomed, and produced almonds overnight. Even after God chose Aaron,
Do those staffs have like their names written on them or something? Like, how do they know? Like, once you just have like a big pile of staves.
Again, they began to complain to Moses.
Moses, take your staff and gather all the people together. Speak to that rock, and it will pour out its water.
Moses raised the staff
very
over his
admirable
head
goal,
and
Vio.
struck the rock twice.
You did not believe me, Moses. I told you to speak to the rock, but you struck it in anger. You did not trust me or honor me as holy before the people. Neither of you will lead the people into the promised land.
Soon afterward, Aaron died. On and on their journey continued.
Well, that's a bit harsh.
They passed through many countries, but they still had not reached the promised land. Finally, the Israelites reached the Jordan River. Beyond it lay Canaan, the promised land. Moses told the people God would go before them and take possession of the promised land. Moses was 120 years old. He was no longer able to lead the Israelites. As God commanded, Moses would not cross
I mean,
the Jordan River to
that
go
I
into
could
the
maybe
Promised
see
Land.
being like, okay, God's going to punish you for that, but like
follow Joshua.
doing the instructions
it is
wrong?
what God
Really?
wants you to do.
But okay, in that case, okay.
Be strong and courageous, Joshua. You must lead this nation into the land God promised their forefathers. Remember, God goes before you, and He will be with you. He will never leave you or forsake you. Do not be afraid. Do not become discouraged. God is always with you.
For Moses, the long journey was over. He gave his last instructions to the Israelites. Then he blessed them for their journey into the Promised Land.
Okay,
God
that
showed
makes
him everything
more
from
sense
the
then.
top
Thank
of
you for
Mount
clearing
Nebo.
that up.
Then Moses died.
Tell the people to get ready. It is time to cross the Jordan and take the land God has promised to us.
Well, they're sure broken up about Moses
God
dying, aren't
stopped
they?
the flow of the Jordan River so that the Israelites could cross into their promised land.
We will tell our children and grandchildren about this day. When our descendants see this altar, they will remember how the Lord, our God, stopped the Jordan River and brought His people into their promised land.
Without Moses to lead them, and without God's willingness to forgive them for their repeated complaining, they never would have made the difficult journey.
Yeah, man, I guess. Well, hey, good news is we actually made it to the end of the cartoon without needing the backup copy of the disc. So I'm glad we streamed that before that actually became the case, because for those who weren't here when we streamed the story of Jonah, it actually, like, the cartoon kind of failed near the end there. It just crashed and just, like, we didn't get to see the end of it. But because I had a copy of that game anyway, and then a second copy because I got the Interlight bundle to get, like, you know, I got all 6 Interlight games from that one bundle, but I already had Story of Jonah, so I just happened to have 2 copies of the Story of Jonah. We were able to watch the rest of the movie using the other copy. But that's the other reason I've been a little concerned about wanting to access these discs and stream whatever's there to be streamed is, before any more copies of the disc fail, because if this one had died, we only have 1 copy of the other ones. Jonah's the only one we have 2 of. Okay. No, not Tell Me More. Sorry, that's the wrong one. But I do think we have... Yeah, we did get all of those. So if you go to the playroom, we've got some sing-alongs. I apologize in advance if the songs are bad. We've never heard them before. This is our first time on this disc. But there was an impassioned, like, you did make a good point about, yeah, it's part of the preservation and all, even if it's disagreeable, it's, if we don't stream these, who will, right? Like, if this disc becomes unreadable in the future and we never played these songs, then they'll just be lost to the ages. And depending on the song, that may or may not be a good thing, actually. But no, okay. Wisecracking aside, on the Story of Jonah, like, there were 5 of them there, and I can say from the ones we listened to there, like, most of them were at least listenable, maybe moderately catchy. There were a couple that were just painful, but I don't know. We'll play the song, and if you don't want to hear Bible sing-alongs, then I'm sorry. It's in the name of preservation. We'll come back and do Desert Quest after this, and that's the part I'm really looking forward to. we've got subtitles. Well, it's a sing-along, I guess.
I'm listening, Lord. Tell me where to
I guess you need the lyrical subtitles so that you can, in fact, sing along. But,
to the promised land.
this is very get out your lighters and wave your hands in the air.
I must be strong now. I must hear you too. I know my power.
This is incredibly 90s. This is a very 1991 CDI game, isn't it?
I accept your call. Tell me what to do, Lord. I will do it all.
Okay, this one's not bad. It's listenable. It's kind of pretty. Very candle wavy, like you said. So beautiful. So beautiful. Candelabra wave. Thank you, Ditherian. You win. I don't know if I want to do all 5 of them. Let's do one more and then see how we feel. But I don't want to just let the other ones be lost to the ages either. Let's do like half of these and then do Desert Quest and then do the other one, and then we've got a voice redemption, which we'll do after this song. I am not singing one of these. Oh no 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 no. Sing one of those Vedas. A fool. I've never heard this one before. Why is it making me do this? I don't actually know this song. When it gets to the chorus, we'll do the chorus. God's chosen race, walking in this place. Let us praise Him in this place. We are free. We are free. What is dignity? Whatever it is, we clearly don't need it. Praise me, the Lord, by our side, will always be our guide. We are free. We are free. We are free. Merry Christmas. I'm sorry, that was probably more painful than any of the songs on this themselves could ever hope to be, but blame David! I do hope you consider those fluffs well spent. Thank you for that redemption. Yeah, one more, then we'll do Desert Quest, and then maybe we'll come back to the other two. I'm glad you all enjoyed it anyway. Hopefully. One can only hope. Oh yeah, now we're getting groovy. Steel drums and everything. Let's go. Well, this one sure exists. just thinking that, actually. I wasn't going to say that out loud, but, you know, yeah, I guess it's canon, actually, that the golden calf's head is apparently as bad can be. This is very upbeat compared to the first two, isn't it? Yeah, that's the thing about these. Like, that's kind of what I thought about the Story of Jonah ones, too. They had 5 of them in that one. Maybe I'll go back and play those some other stream. But they had 5 of those in that one, too. And, like, at least 2 or 3 of them were kind of a bop. I mean, we're not religious. I wouldn't call them the greatest songs ever made or anything, but they're listenable. They're kind of catchy, actually. There were a couple that were just not, but you know, some of them were actually pretty decent. That one wasn't bad. It is catchy. It is catchy, and that one was arguably not religious, correct? So let's see what Desert Quest is all about. This is what this disc has instead of this is where Lost Sheep would be on the Story of Jonah. Instead, we get Desert Quest. I don't know what Desert Quest is. We've never played this before. Let's find out. It might be nothing special, really. It might be as amazing as Lost Sheep is.
Welcome to Desert Quest, the game where your knowledge of amazing Bible facts and desert trivia takes you to prize-winning showcases. I'm your host, made to be a happy. To begin the game, click on the showcase of your choice. If you need to hear rules of the game, click on Help. Remember, as soon as you select your showcase, the timer begins. And now, let's get started.
So is this so we just got like a trivia thing here? Okay. No, I don't think that the Troubles or the Thieves of Darkness or whatever you call them are in this one, but I don't know. Who knows? This appears to just be a trivia game, but
the desert that Moses and the Israelites wandered through is also known as the A. Wasteland, B. Wilderness, C. Great Plain. The Ark of the Covenant was kept in the A. Holy of Holies, B. Desert, C. Noah's Ark.
What? I guess? That was a complete wild guess. Are we getting closer to this tent as we answer? Oh, thank you, Liberty.
Who was put in the lion's den? A. Noah, B. Moses, C. Daniel.
That one we knew, but has nothing to do with Moses, but okay. We are getting closer, okay.
What did Jacob make for Joseph? A. A coat of many colors, B. A ladder, C. A house.
Then watch, you get closer to the tent, and then it's dark in there. Watch, there's going to be one of the Troubles or Thieves of Darkness inside the tent if you answer too many questions wrong.
Got tired of eating A. Quail, B. Rice, C. Manna.
Yeah, they're just kind of going all over the Bible with this, aren't they? Or at least the Old Testament. Did we win? Nice ancient Egyptian basketball hoop there. What? Do we click on something? $25. What in the... Oh, is this a memory matching game? 25 and there was a 25 over here, right? No? The heck is... No, that's 10. The heck is this? Okay, there's the 25. And then the... What?
Congratulations! You're a winner!
Okay. Sure. I don't know what we did, but we won. Let's see what the help file has to say about that part and what the heck was going on there.
If you want information on any of the items you see, click on that item, or click on the question mark again for game instructions.
Thank you so much for the clip. Okay.
If you want information on any of the items you see, click on that item, or click on the question mark again for game instructions. If you want information on
I'm clicking
any
on the
of
question
items
mark
you see,
again. Give me
click
game
on that
instructions.
item, or click on the question mark again.
That's
for
what I'm
game
doing.
Instructions.
That's what I'm... Sure. Okay, well, the help is not super helpful, is it? How do we go back?
To begin, if you want information on any of the items you see, click on that item, or click on the question mark again for game instructions.
That's what I...
To begin,
Yeah.
click on the showcase. If you want information on any of the items you see, click on that item, or click on the question mark again for game instructions.
Okay, you know what? We'll just figure it out, I guess. How do we get out of the help menu?
This bird is well adapted to desert conditions. A. Ostrich. B. Hoot owl. C. Parakeet. If you want information on any of the items you see, click on that item, or click on the question mark again for game instructions. If you want information on any of the items you see, click on that item, or click on the question mark again for game instructions.
Okay, fine.
Brought a plague on greedy people. A. Dove. B. Sparrows. C. Quail. The mercy seat was considered to be the throne of A. Moses, B. God, C. Ramses II.
I don't know, but wild guess. Apparently that was correct. Oh, thank you, Liberty.
A head covering worn by women in biblical times. A. A hat. B. A veil. C. A scarf. For Noah and his family, the sign of God's promise was A. A cloud. B. A rainbow. C. The sun.
I thought it was an olive branch, but I guess it was the rainbow.
What meat did God send the Israelites in the desert? A. Pheasant. B. Quail. The largest desert in North America is the A. Great Basin, B. Mojave, C. Painted.
Whoops. It's none of them? Excuse me? Okay.
Most desert animals are active A. all day long, B. morning and evening, C. at noon.
But we got a question wrong, so we don't get to play the bonus whatever the heck that was. So are these all just the same thing, but just with like a different different place you're approaching?
Which man was never a king? A. David, B. Solomon, C. Adam. The king of Egypt. A. the sun god, B. the high priest, C. the pharaoh.
Yeah, maybe. You just get to look at it for a second and then they just kind of shoo you away.
What meat did God send the Israelites in the desert? A. Pheasant, B. Quail, the first book in the Bible. A. Genesis, he delivered the Israelites from slavery. A. Caleb, B. Moses, a sign of God's greatness which the Israelites could see. A. Glory, B. Holy, C. Covet.
What? I'm sorry, what? What does that question even mean? I don't know, Liberty. Yeah, sure. Let's just...
Which plant is least likely to be found in the desert? A. Moss. B. Palm tree. C. Cactus. He climbed a sycamore tree so he could see Jesus. A. David. B. Noah. C. Zacchaeus. Which book of the Bible tells of the Israelites leaving Egypt? A. Exodus. The tabernacle is similar to today's A. City Hall. B. Church.
And you got a question wrong, so you only just get to look at the prize briefly. But you're still a winner, I guess.
Congratulations! You're a winner!
By some definitions, anyway. Yeah, I don't think we need to... Fourth one's probably just like the other three.
Welcome to Desert Quest. The game where you...
So this is not as robust as Lost Sheep. I don't think we need to do multiple Desert Quest streams. I think you kind of get the point after just even seeing 3 of those, but... You know, it's still worth seeing, I guess. So I guess let's just do the last 2 songs and then we're done with this disc anyway. Whoops. Why do I keep going there instead of into the playroom for the songs? And yeah, like I know you really don't need to see the stuff in the like the other stuff in the playroom because things like the connect the dots or the coloring book or the slider puzzle, these are literally just like stills from the cartoon that they just turned into a quick, you know, slide puzzle or coloring book mode. Like the only thing and this isn't just for this disc, I assume all Interlights work like this, so the only thing any of them have in the playrooms that would be original content would be the sing-alongs. So, okay, 2 more to go, and hopefully they're a bop at least.
Moses, where's the food you promised? Moses, we're really awfully thirsty. Some nice cold water would be a treat. Moses,
oh boy.
Show us the land of honey and milk. We're here, sweating in the desert. The Pharaoh's lying on a bed of silk. Back in Egypt, we were slaves, but at least we always got fed.
They can't all be winners, I guess. That's it? That's the song? It's not going to be a lesson to like not complain too much if you're Israelites or like any morals. It's just like they just got a complaint song. That's it, huh? Okay. The moral of the story is if you if you're insufferable enough, you get a cool song at least. Well, you get a song at least. I'm not sure what you saw. I'm not sure what any of us saw. That one was... I don't know what to say about that one. Okay, this one's comparatively more of a bop. It's catchy at least. Oh my gosh, it probably was. Oh, is it? Okay. This one's not just an original one? Well, okay. This one's... it's catchy at least. I mean, we're not going to convert or anything, but it's a bop. This whole thing is way too much of a bop for the subject matter. Okay, well that was... Images to not commit adultery to. That sounds like metal lyrics, if anything. David, please don't cover the complaining one, though. The other one, sure, but they... Well, I guess that's about it for this disc, then? I mean, literally the only content left. I mean, you don't need to see the Bible, because it's just, it's literally just the Bible. I'm pretty sure, anyway. You can get that just about... Yeah. Yeah, it's nothing really to see there. We saw the cartoon. We saw the Tell Me More stuff. We saw the Interlight, the About Us video. We got all the songs. I guess, you know what? It's going to bug me if I don't do the fourth Desert Quest one. I know it's just going to be the same thing as the first three. And it's probably going to be even harder to watch than the songs were, but it's just one more thing, and then we'll be done with this. And then hopefully the next one will have a better game.
For God so loved the world that he gave his A. Angels, B. Son.
The Desert Quest is worse than the songs. I'm sorry, but this is just... We just got one more. We're like almost there.
Acacia is A. Wood. The number of times God wrote the commandments. A. 2. Moses led God's people through this. A. Desert.
At least these ones are easy. Maybe we can get a perfect score and actually get to touch the treasure again this time.
He asked God to forgive the Israelites. A. Caleb. B. Moses. C. Joshua.
I'm sorry. We're coveting the treasure. What, did we make it?
This is the holiest day in the Jewish year. A. Purim. B. Simchat Torah. C. Yom Kippur.
Liberty? See, it is. Thank you, Liberty.
Which plant is least likely to be found in the desert? A. Moss. B. Palm tree. The city's walls were knocked down by God. A. Nineveh. B. Bethlehem. C. Jericho.
Almost there.
Moses was found here as a baby. A. The Nile River. B. The Red Sea. C. The Jordan River.
I want to say the Nile. Liberty, is that correct? Thank you. I thought so. I just wasn't 100% on it.
Where did Jesus first call men to follow him? A. Bethlehem. B. Galilee. C. Jerusalem.
What? First, tell people to follow him? You're right. Thank you, David. Oh, come on. How much closer do you have to be? Just give us the treasure already.
The last book in the Bible. A.
Revelation. That I know.
B. Genesis. C. Psalms.
Did we do it? We did it! What? What?
Congratulations! You're a winner!
The game did hear me coveting. Okay, fine. Fine, I guess we're sinners after all. Like Song of Solomon. Oh, jeez. Okay, so I believe that's about everything on this disc. So I think what we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break. Get the music going again. I'm just going to go ahead and grab a snack, get my, let my ears rest a bit because I've been wearing these headphones and everything. We're making good time here, so I think we can actually, I don't know if we'll get through all of it, but we can at least start on the next one after this, the next Interlight disc. And we actually have, that was Moses bound for the Promised Land. So that one's actually done. I think the next one, let me check what they did chronologically, like by release order. I think the next one's Noah's Ark is something else. I think the next one is Noah's Ark, but let me just confirm that. And then we'll just take a break just to grab a snack and everything, and we'll come back and do at least some of that. I don't know if we'll do all of it, but depends on how much is on the disc. But let's see. Interlight Productions. Moses bound for the Promised Land, then Noah's Ark. Yes, that is the next one. Then after that, Story of Jonah, which we did that one already extensively, but we can revisit it just to get a couple more speedrun times in Lost Sheep and maybe hear the sing-alongs. Then we have Story of Samson, David and Goliath, and then lastly, we have Moses the Exodus. That was the last game they made, even though Bound for the Promised Land was the first, which is kind of weird, but okay, I guess. So, we will take a bit of a break, and we will come back with Noah's Ark. Thank you so much for sticking around with us in the meantime. Thank you for going on this CDI edutainment preservation journey with us. And we'll be back in a bit. Take care till then. welcome to part 2 of our stream. I hope you're all having a lovely evening so far, and I hope that things continue to be lovely for you. Let's get back in here. I went ahead and turned off the CDI so that I could swap discs out. It should load the next one as soon as we power it on. Let me just go ahead and change the status. So the next one, going, again, we're doing these chronologically by their release date. So this is the second game that Interlight ever made. This one is just Noah's Ark. Doesn't have a long title that needs us to compromise on our space like the last one did. It's just Noah's Ark. It's just Noah's Ark. That's it. I don't know if this is another one where we'll have like the only footage of it on the internet, but with a name that generic, good luck finding this version in particular. Probably even after we get this video out there, good luck finding this one compared to, you know, any of the other zillion Noah's Ark things out there. But we'll still preserve it. We'll still put it out there. Whether people look for it or care that it's out there, that's kind of on them. But we care that the option at least is available. We care that it's available. The fact that it will exist in some form anyway, that's our mission. So, without further ado, let us go ahead and stop the music, change the, get our little decorations back underneath the portrait there, now that we don't have the music anymore. Let's get the CDI player going and see what we've got here. So this should I believe work like the other Interlights we've played. You know, it should have the same. It definitely has the same startup screen. Now this is actually the first time we even so much as like put this disc in the player, so we know nothing about this one. Like the last one, we at least got to this screen just to make sure that, like, because we were doing the sound checks and we wanted to make sure the sound levels sounded okay. This one we haven't even, like, this is the first time we've even taken this out of the case. But I expect it should work pretty much like the other Interlights do. Yep, you've got your same menu here. So there's the cartoon. You've got the Tell Me More. You've got the About This Disc, which I assume is going to be the same video, but we can just go ahead and check real quick. And then you've got the Playroom.
Let's go take a look at About This Disc.
Didn't used to have those. Yeah.
As parents?
That's the same video. Didn't used to have the narration there. That's new. But Playroom should just have the sing-alongs and stuff.
Let's go take a look at the Playroom.
Okay, so the one thing this disc is doing new is just that vocal confirmation of whichever one you pick. Yeah, same layout here and everything. 5 songs again. We'll watch the cartoon first. Maybe do a couple of the songs, then see what's this game's other. I don't know what you even call, like, it'd be the equivalent, like this thing. So this is Rainbow Walk. So Moses, Bound for the Promised Land, had Desert Quest. Story of Jonah had Lost Sheep. Noah's Ark had Rainbow Walk. What do you call this? Every Interlight game has your Bible right here, your About This Disc video here, your cartoon video here, Tell Me More there, there's the Playroom, and this part. The main pack-in I feel like calling it a game might be a bit of a stretch considering what Desert Quest was. That wasn't that was more trivia than anything else, but the additional content. Yeah, there you go. So you've got every Interlight game has the actual cartoon that you're here to watch, the About This disc, the Bible, the Playroom that's got your sing-alongs and stuff, the Tell Me More, and the additional content. Thank you, Say. So, I guess let's just dive right in with the cartoon. Once again, I will be, this will not be a quiet, respectful, uninterrupted, clean broadcast for copyright reasons. I'll be doing the Tell Me More interruptions whenever they come up. I'll be offering commentary and stuff. Not because I want to riff over this, not that I don't respect this, but just, it has to be interactive.
Let's go take a look at the Noah's Ark story.
Let's do that. That sounds like a wonderful idea. They've got some music on this one. Okay.
Have you ever looked up at the sky and seen something so beautiful that it takes your breath away? Perhaps the most amazing thing to be seen in the sky is
a work of art.
The rainbow. Sometimes you see the rainbow before it rains. Sometimes after a rainstorm.
Absolutely a
The
work
very
of art.
first rainbow was put in the sky by God because he made a promise to Noah and to all people.
Wait, was that
Now
the
I'll
first
tell you
rainbow?
about the
Really?
rainbow promise. It's a true story. that
I
happened
know there was a
long
rainbow
time
in that
ago.
story, but I didn't know that was the first one, like
In
ever.
the beginning, God created.
Anyway, let's find out.
When God created Adam and Eve, the first man and woman on earth, it was the beginning of family life. It was also the beginning of the family into which Noah was born. Many
Oh boy,
generations
are we going to do
later.
like all of
The
Deuteronomy
third son
here?
of Adam and Eve was Seth. Seth grew up and had a son named Enoch.
Or not Deuteronomy.
Enosh became the father of Kenan.
No, this is
who
just
became
Genesis
the
chapter
father of
2, isn't it?
Mahalalel.
Where just the
Mahalalel
whole
had a
thing
son
is
named
just
Jared, who had a son named Enoch. Enoch became the father of Methuselah, who had a
Yep.
son named Lamech.
This is
To
just
Lamech
Genesis
was
2
born a
action
son
right
whom
here.
He named Noah. All of these men had their children when they were quite old. Noah was over 500 years old when his 3 sons were born: Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The history of Noah's family was written after they had died. It was written many, many years later by Moses. There are many interesting things the Bible tells us about Noah's family. Their
It was
names had
actually
special
just
meaning
a
that might tell
conversion of
someone about
Wolfenstein
them or
3D.
something unusual that had happened in
Like
their
it wasn't.
lives. For
It
example,
was almost
Noah's
just like a
name means
Wolfenstein
to
3D
comfort.
ROM hack, if anything. But I mean,
The
there
Bible
were
calls
a
Noah a
couple
man of the
differences,
soil.
like as far as how the
That means
gameplay
that Noah was a farmer.
worked and
God told
everything.
him to
But
gather
like the
food
map,
to take
level
into the
design,
ark for his family
everything,
and
like
all the
every
animals.
enemy
Being a
had a
farmer must have been
direct
very
one-to-one
helpful to
counterpart to like the
We also
Wolfenstein
know that
3D
before the
enemies and
flood,
everything. It
people
was
were
a
vegetarians.
pretty direct conversion,
means they did
close
not
to
eat
direct
meat.
anyway.
After the flood, God told Noah that he and his family could now eat meat for food. God also gave Noah special instructions on how to prepare the animals for food. The Bible also tells us that Noah and his sons were married. Although we're never told the names of their wives, we do know that these women were the ones to start the first families in the world washed clean by the flood. If you'd like to find out more about their children, you can do that in another Tell Me More presentation called Noah's Family After the Flood.
This is some 90s
Have you ever looked up
MIDI
at the sky and seen
Casioing
something so
right there.
beautiful that it takes your breath away? Perhaps
That's
the most
just
amazing
beautiful.
thing to be seen in the sky is
And I'm not talking about the rainbow. I'm
rainbow.
talking about the
Sometimes you see the rainbow before
Casio
it rains.
noodling and
Sometimes after a
the
rainstorm.
music started with there.
The very first rainbow
I mean, the rainbow's
was
pretty
put in
too,
the
I
sky
guess,
by
but-
God, because he made a promise to Noah and to all people. Now I'll tell you about the rainbow promise. It's a true story that happened a long time ago.
The rainbow promise sounds
In the
like something
beginning,
that
God created
modern
the
day
heavens
religious folk
and the
probably
earth.
would oppose.
After God created the earth, he created the first man and woman, Adam and Eve. God placed Adam and Eve in a beautiful garden where they were to live in happiness. But a tempter came into the lovely garden. The tempter was a liar who told Adam and Eve that they didn't have to obey God. Adam and Eve believed this lie, and in doing so, disobeyed God. God punished Adam and Eve for their disobedience. He sent them out of the garden. Even though they were disobedient, God still loved Adam and Eve. He even loved them knowing that they and others would disobey him time after time. Much time passed in the world God made. God watched as the people became more and more evil. This made God sad. Finally, God
goodness.
could no longer stand the pain.
So I know I've said this many a
But
time
God
now,
did see
but
one
like
man who believed in him and obeyed him.
you can
His
really
name was
tell
Noah.
these are Interlight
Noah was genuinely
interanimations,
different from all
Interlight
the other people on
animations,
Earth.
because the animation style is so smooth. So many frames there. It's not choppy at all. But my God, those faces are just meme-worthy.
For thousands of years, people have written
It
down
is
the
like
stories of their
animation
countries
magic
and the men
tier
and women
as far
who
as
lived
like
in
both
them.
the animation smoothness
writings
and
make up
the
the history of the world.
faces, honestly.
But there was a time when no one wrote down what was happening on the Earth.
Like, if Animation
call this
Magic
long ago
hadn't
time
made the CDI Zelda
prehistory.
games and Hotel Mario,
Noah
like
and his
I
family
Am Mean
lived during this
and,
time
you know,
of prehistory.
all the Animation Magic stuff that they became
Even though we
infamous
have
for.
no writings from these early years,
Like,
we do
it'd
know
be
some
these
interesting
guys.
things about how
Like,
people lived. For
even
instance,
down to them
the
being
Bible tells
CDI
us that
games.
Noah
So I guess it was
a
just
farmer.
CDI animation was
Farmers
like
at
that. You
time
either had
probably grew
Animation
many of the
Magic or
same
you
things
had
we enjoy
Interlight
eating today,
animation.
such as these fruits and vegetables.
I Am Meme, yes.
They grew grain, which they ground into flour for bread. The Bible
Oh,
tells
gosh.
us that Noah and his family
I
were
would
the first
I would
people
love to
that
see
God allowed to eat
to
meat.
see like
So the people
YTPs
before
of
Noah
the
did not keep
Interlights. I
animals
really
for
would.
food. They did use animals for sacrifice and for making their clothing, though. These clothes were sometimes made from lamb's wool. The people of this time used tools to help them farm the land and harvest their crops, much as we might today. They also developed tools to help them with other chores. Noah had tools to help him build the ark as God commanded.
Noah had
But all of
tools to
life
help him
wasn't
build
spent
spaghetti.
just working. The people decorated things
Yeah,
they
that
had made with
you
their
could
hands,
absolutely
such as
slot
jewels.
this into like any
There was music
Animation Magic
played on
games,
simple instruments to sing
YTPs.
and dance to. The children
They would just
probably
fit
told
right
stories
in.
and made up games, just as you and your friends do today. Another thing we know about this time of prehistory is this. The God who created people in the first place was very much involved in their daily lives. We know that because of the story of Noah, which shows how God cared for Noah and his family. But God did see one man who believed in him and obeyed him. His name was Noah. Noah was genuinely different from all the other people on earth. He had learned to trust and depend on God for everything. Noah knew God and loved him.
I thought you weren't
Noah
supposed
had
to
a
do
wife
that.
and 3 sons. His sons' names were Shem, Ham, and Japheth. They were
I thought
all a
God
wonderful
told you
help
not
to
to
their
just
father and mother.
count on God to
When
do
Noah's
everything
sons
for
grew
you.
up and became men, they all married. Noah and his family were the only good people during this time. All the other people in the world grew more heartless and evil every day. One day, God spoke to Noah.
Noah, the earth is now completely filled with violence. Every thought in every human heart is only evil all the time. I am sorry that I have made man on the earth. I will destroy them with the earth. I will put an end to all of them because they are evil.
There's a facial expression right there. And
Noah, I want you to make an ark, a great ship like a box.
Great animation on
Make it
that
of
tier
cypress
too.
wood.
That was just, that was...
Since nothing like the ark had ever been made before, God told Noah exactly how to build it.
We are sorry.
God said to Noah, "So make yourself an ark of cypress wood. Make rooms in it, and coat it with pitch inside and out." Cypress wood is also referred to as gopher wood. It is like pine wood. It floats easily and is strong under pressure. The word ark means a boat or a container to float. Noah's ark was meant to be a big floating house for Noah's family and the animals. They were not meant to steer it. God would do that. To keep the water out, the ark was covered with a tar-like substance, sometimes called pitch. After Noah knew what he was to build, what sort of wood to use, and how to waterproof it, God told him just how big to make it. He told Noah, "This is how you are to build it. The length of the ark is to be 300 cubits, the width of it 50 cubits, and the height of it 30 cubits." In those days, measurements were based upon the human body.
Now we're
A
getting into the
cubit
math again.
was the length
Yay.
of the forearm from the tip of the middle finger to the elbow, about 18 inches, or about 50 centimeters. Using that measurement, we find that Noah's Ark was 450 feet long, about the size of a modern sports stadium. God said to Noah, "Make a roof for it, and finish the ark to within 18 inches of the top. Put a door in the side of the ark, and make lower, middle, and upper decks."
Finished.
There was an 18-inch space at the top, left unfinished on
okay.
the sides of the ark. Genesis 8:6 also tells us that Noah opened the window he had made in the ark. When Noah made the door for the ark, he knew it had to be large enough for the biggest animals. God made it clear that the inside of the ark was to have 3 stories or levels, and he told Noah to make many rooms. They were probably used for stalls for the animals and as living, eating, and sleeping places for the people. Some of the areas may have been used for storage. You can see that God's design for this floating hotel
Tecmo
and
Noah's
zoo
Super Art
was a
Bowl
very good
crossover.
one. Over the centuries, many people have tried to find pieces of Noah's Ark. Even though no one has been able to do that, the search for information about it continues. We're glad your search brought you here.
We're glad too, I think. I hope.
Noah, I want you to make an ark, a great ship like a box. Make it of cypress wood, and make it exactly as I tell you. I will bring a flood of waters
but
upon
not
the earth to
even
destroy
like a
everyone
team
and
of like
everything.
literally every animal
Everything that
in,
is on the earth shall die.
on the
But
planet
because you
could stop
alone remain
Tecmo Bowl.
obedient to me, Noah, I
You
make
know
a
that.
covenant with you. When the day of my judgment comes, you will go into the ark, you and your wife and your sons and their wives, and you will all be saved from death.
God also planned to save some of each kind of the earth's animals. God gave Noah special instructions about the animals that would travel inside the ark. He also told Noah to take with him every kind of food for his family and for the animals.
It's a lot of information
Noah,
to cram in
who
one
had learned
teardrop.
throughout his long life to hear the voice of God and to obey it, made plans for everything, just as God had commanded him.
Father, as God instructed you, I will cover the ark inside and out with pitch, so it won't leak.
That is very good, my son. Together we will follow God's instructions.
Is that the voice of Jonah?
You're crazy. What do you think you're doing?
That guy was even drawn to look a little like Jonah
Noah must think he
art-wise,
needs
so
a
I was
bigger house.
thinking like...
He's even got his family working on this thing.
Well, you know, it's...
Listen, my friends, I am not the one facing death.
Oh my God.
This boat you're laughing at
Sarah
is
just
God's
pointed
way
out
for
something
us
I
to
can't
escape a
unsee
terrible
now.
flood.
That's,
The
that
flood
is Dr.
going to
Light,
wash
actually.
everything away
That's who
very
that is.
soon.
Do you believe this?
You can believe this because God himself has told me
And
so.
I believe that is the
Still
voice of
talking
Jonah
about God? If this
from
God
the
yours
story
is
of
so
Jonah
wonderful,
cartoon.
why does he only talk to you?
He'll talk to you if you'll listen to him.
That
if
is absolutely...
you believe him. And he'll save you too from the flood that's coming.
Father, I hate it when they laugh at
know,
us. And
like,
at
I'd have to
God.
look at
I know, my son.
credits, if
It
there's a
hurts
credits
me
page
too.
or a voice cast or
Even
anything like
so,
that, but I
I'm
would be willing to
sorry
bet
for them.
money that's the voice of Jonah.
But come, we
that
have
just
work
sounds
to do.
identical.
God didn't say it would be easy to finish this ark, but he did say to finish it.
Noah and his family continued to work hard to
Gabe,
build the great
hello.
ark through the long, dry days
We're
and
just
into the lonely night.
watching some cartoons and
In
checking
time,
out some
the ark was finished. And
additional
soon,
content.
Like the shadow of a great cloud across a distant hillside, Noah saw them come. He heard their sounds, hundreds of animals, both great and small. All of the animals God had sent were coming to the ark.
I never imagined in all my life I'd see a thing like this.
It's as if they know they'll be safe here.
Even the smallest of God's animals entered the ark.
Now these little ones will be very different by the end of the trip.
Yes, and so will we.
In 7 days I will send rain upon the earth for 40 days and 40 nights. I will destroy from the face of the earth every living thing that I have made.
Finally, the seventh day arrived. Noah gathered his family together. He was uneasy. Noah knew the earth would soon feel the force of the powerful destruction of which God had spoken.
My children, let us pray to God for comfort.
The Lord sealed them in.
The Lord's, like, they didn't close the door. God had to, like,
There came a sound.
close the door for them. I'm pretty sure I know what floods are, but
its
okay.
natural boundaries, we call it a flood. A small flood
I guess
might be
guess
when you
these are
forget to
made
turn
for
off
a
the water
younger
and
audience.
the bathtub overflows. A big flood is when it rains so much that lakes and rivers spill over their edges. The biggest flood that ever happened took place when Noah and his family were alive. You'll remember that God looked down on the world and found it so wicked that he decided to destroy everything. Everything, that is, but Noah, his family, and the animals who rode on the ark. Many people throughout the world have heard of the great flood that once covered the earth. The story of the flood is written or told in many different languages throughout the world. Although we rarely think about water being dangerous, the truth is, a flood can create a disaster. A flood can uproot
No, I'm
trees,
pretty sure we knew
sweep away
that.
cars
No,
and
again, I'm
houses, and
sorry. I keep
destroy
forgetting. This is
everything in its
aimed at
path.
this is aimed at
If
kids.
people
This
and
is aimed at
animals are in the
kids.
way,
Sorry.
they are lost too. The Bible tells us that the flood water came when the fountains of the great deep broke forth and the windows of heaven were opened. This means that the water for the flood
This is
probably came
very
from springs,
upbeat music for
rivers,
people
and
like
rain.
dying in a flood and stuff.
The flood was
Hello,
God's way
good to see
take
you.
evil away from the earth and to
Not
start
bad.
again
Just,
fresh
you know,
and new.
doing
The
some
rainbow is God's way
CDI
of reminding
content
us of his
preservation.
and of the story of Noah and the ark.
How's your evening going?
There came a sound. A flood poured down from heaven as if a huge dam had suddenly exploded. And
So this
water
is a
came rushing up from springs
CDI
below for days.
children's
At
Bible
last, the great
edutainment
ark, which had
software
seemed so
by
huge
Interlight
and heavy, began to
Productions.
rise.
about
The small
Noah's Ark.
creatures, the wild animals, the birds, and finally
There's
each
actually, we're
human
doing
being,
like a
all were
series of
overtaken by
these
the flood.
because
Yet
we're,
even
you know,
as
we're in the
waters
lost
closed
media
over their
preservation and
heads,
stuff.
the people
So,
would not admit that they were wrong. They
we-
died cursing God.
you know,
The waters
there
covered
there
the
is
earth,
no
keeping
one
the
else
ark
is
above the
preserving
tallest
like
mountain.
CDI edutainment
For 5
titles,
more
so
months,
we're
Noah's family
showcasing
lived in
these because
peace
where
and
else are you
safety.
gonna see this, right? Oh, neat. Well, hope you're having a good morning so far.
Noah and his family turned to God for strength and hope during their long trip.
Our loving Heavenly Father, you have sheltered us and kept us safe. We are grateful, but go. Lord, our eyes grow hungry for the sunlight. We hope to walk upon your earth again. Lord, lift up our hearts. Go on, get away.
Bird
God
just
had
wants to
not
pray
forgotten
too.
Noah and
Come
his
on.
family or the animals. He sent a warm wind to blow across the face of the earth. Slowly, steadily, every day the water went down. After 5 months, the ark came to rest on the mountains of Ararat.
Here you.
We've stopped. We've hit land.
It's over. Let's go outside.
Wait, my children, be patient. We want God's timing, not ours.
Even though it must have been very difficult, Noah and his family waited patiently. After many days, Noah opened the window he had made in the ark, and he sent out a raven.
Soar now. See if you can find a place where the waters have gone down.
The raven did not come back to the ark. Noah also sent forth a gentle dove.
Now, little friend, let us hope you can find a place to rest.
Their hearts lifted as they watched her rise into the morning sky. But later, as the evening star appeared, their faces fell. The dove, exhausted from a day of flying, had returned. The next week, Noah tried again, refusing to give up. He knew that God would bring them a sign of land and safety. The dove left Noah's hand in a flutter of white wings. The days seemed long to Noah's family, and their hopes faded as the moon began to rise. But then...
Oh, look! She's back! What's she holding?
I like that flourish there.
Why, this is an olive leaf. Now I know the waters are going down. Oh, my children, we will only have to wait a little more time.
Oh, that is a super dramatic dove
We can
right
bear
there.
it now, Father.
That's
God has given us a sign to encourage us.
That's a
In
theater
another week,
kid dove
Noah
right
sent
there.
out the dove again. This time, she found a place to live and didn't come back. The waters went down a
So
little
whatever
more
happened
each
to that
day.
raven then?
At last, the land was completely dry. Then God spoke to Noah again.
Noah, come out of the ark now, you, your family, and all the creatures you have kept within. Bring them out, that they may multiply and make the earth full of people and animals again.
And out they all came, rejoicing in God's faithfulness for keeping them safe. They set the animals free to repopulate the earth.
Oh, hey, they actually drew like a male and female lion. Most Noah's Ark media
The
doesn't
story of Noah
do that.
and his family ends with
Most
people
media
and animals
kinda
finally on dry land.
goofs up on that part.
God promised never to destroy the earth by a flood again. But of course,
Yeah, we're doing
there's
the
more that
Interlight
took place with Noah's
Bible
family after the
edutainment
flood.
CDI series.
Noah was a farmer before the flood.
Not because we're super
After
religious
the
or
flood,
anything,
Noah
but
and
just
his
because,
family
you know,
also
they're
lived
forgotten
by farming the
CDI
land.
edutainment. We're
The
really
Bible
into
tells
preserving
us
lost
that
media,
Noah was a
and
man of the soil. Noah
no one else is
planted a
covering
vineyard.
these, so...
Later, he used the grapes from his vineyard to make wine.
Like, we
Some
do
things
have
about life
non-religious
after the flood were different for Noah and his family.
edutainment titles for the
All the
CDI,
animals
so
on earth
we'll
became
probably
afraid
do
of
those
people
after the
after they
Interlights,
left
but
the
I
ark.
just figured we'll start with
God
the Interlights.
said to Noah, "The fear and dread of you will fall upon every creature that moves." Perhaps that was because of another change God made. God said man was allowed to have
that's
everything on
an
earth for
interesting
food.
interpretation.
Now people could also eat meat, along with the fruits, vegetables, and grains. The Bible tells us the earth became filled with people from the children of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. This map shows where their descendants were scattered
Yeah, we're not
on the earth.
really any
Japheth became the father
like,
of the people we call
super
Indo-European.
organized religion. We're vaguely spiritual, but
became
not
the
in
father
like
of the
a
African people.
like organized
And
religion
Shem
kind of
became
sense.
the
But
father
we're
of the
just
Semitic
going through these because we
Noah himself lived long
because
after
we
the flood,
have a deep
350
appreciation
years,
for old,
and
overlooked,
what a life it was.
lost
At the
media
end of his
and
950
CDI
years of
games in
life,
particular.
Noah knew that God had shown him things no man had ever seen before or will ever see again.
Well, welcome to Twitch.
They set the animals free to repopulate the earth. Then Noah, being thankful to God, built an altar to the Lord, and Noah made a sacrifice on it. God was pleased with Noah's gift to him.
You just had like
Never
2 of
again
every
will I
animal
curse
with
the
you for this
ground
whole
because
journey.
of
You're
man,
already like they haven't even
nor will I
repopulated
kill
yet. You're
every
already going to
living thing as
sacrifice
I have
one of
done.
them.
As
Like
long as the
with
earth
land?
remains,
So there's an
seed
extinct
time
species
and
right there.
harvest and cold and heat, summer and winter, and day and night shall never stop.
Then God blessed Noah and his sons, and said to them,
Be fruitful, have many children. Restore this earth I am giving to you. And now, Noah, I make a solemn promise to you.
Yeah, like
to the
timing,
generations
Noah.
which will follow you.
Timing.
And to every beast of the earth. I promise that never again will a flood come upon the earth such as this one to wipe out all life. And for a sign of this promise, I set my rainbow in the clouds. This is the sign of the covenant.
Oh,
the promise
okay, I didn't
between
know
me
that.
and every living creature
Thank you,
that is
Liberty.
upon the earth.
Liberty's our resident
that is how the
Bible
rainbow
expert.
promise came to be. God
Liberty
promised
knows all
that
this
he would
stuff.
never again destroy the earth by water, and he never has.
That's the end of the cartoon, anyway. Well, compared to us, anyway. So yeah, so we have Rainbow Walk, which we'll definitely check out in a bit. And I think we'll treat this disc the same way we did the last one, where I know there are like 5 sing-alongs in the playroom, just to space these out, and just in the off chance they're insufferable, because we care about our audience. I do want to preserve these, so I do want to play them, but I'll do like, let's say 3 of them. We'll do half and half. We'll do 3 of them, and then we'll check out Rainbow Walk, and then we'll do the other 2. All right. If it's real quick, we kind of don't want to like detract too much from this, but maybe look at that while we're doing the song here.
The Lord said to Noah, I have a job for you, and it will be much bigger than any job you'll ever do. Some will say you're crazy, and friends will say you're wrong. How in heaven can you build a boat so tall and long?
Well, this is
Tell them step by step, and
this is a song, I guess.
so see
Well, I don't know what you're learning from this stream exactly, but hopefully it's educational, I guess.
And those who called you crazy might become a laughing mob. They'll say no one who has ever lived could do that kind of job. Just tell them step by step and inch by inch, just as God salts the ocean pinch by pinch. Nothing is impossible, there always is a way, and we will do it inch by inch and day by day, step by step.
They're definitely children's media. So they kind of take liberty, but you know, it's lost media, we'll preserve it. Now that song exists on the internet, you're welcome, I guess. Right? Yeah. You grow up on these and then it's like, oh, huh.
You bring a hammer and I bring the wood.
I'm sorry, what?
We'll build it strong and safe as we should. Working together is easier that way. Side by side and hand in hand we'll build a boat today.
Lost media is very strange, but you know, it's neat. It's very neat.
You have a saw and I have a file.
Yeah. This is, there are probably better places to learn about Bible stories than, like, children's CDI games from 1991. But, today we're teaching you that these games exist. That's educational. Well, that one was listenable, at least. Alphabet lore. Yeah, you and I were looking, those two letters, I mean, were looking pretty shippable there. These are very whimsical. Those are some Interlight faces for you. I mean, the animals look okay. Those are... Someone knows how to draw animals, at least. It's just very CDI facial expressions is the Interlight style. Oh, all right, yeah, take care. Thank you for stopping by. Liberty, my goodness. I feel like this is music to be put on hold to if you're calling the Bible's customer support service line. The CDI, Gabe, was not a successful console. Let's just put it that way. It did not have a lot of games that were like actually good games. That wink at the end there. Oh my god, there's a face. A lot of them were yeah, the Hotel Mario, the CDI Zeldas, like those are the ones people remember. And I think those are a lot of times those are the only ones people remember. And that's a lot of why we're here doing this. Because if you look up like CDI preservation, oh yeah, they've made emulators that can run Hotel Mario. They can't run literally any other CDI game, but like, you know, it runs Hotel Mario, that's enough, right? Why would you ever want to play any other CDI game? That's like the only game that exists. So we're here to kind of shine a light on, hey, there were other ones out there, and yeah, the animation was just as hokey, but you know, they exist. They deserve to be preserved. They shouldn't be like, just because this isn't like the one that people like, just because this one isn't the one that has Nintendo characters in it and it's the one that people care about, like, doesn't mean that it deserves to just no longer exist anymore once the data on the disc goes bad. Like, we want to get this out there. This is worth seeing too. Yeah, I don't know about that. And it's not that there's not like a really robust CDI community. There is. Like the fact that we're playing this on hardware, like our CDI's timekeeper chip died and the entire console just like ceased functioning because the console is set up that it's like if the timekeeper chip dies, like the battery runs out, like the entire console just stops working. And like there's a really robust CDI community. Again, Rosewood of retrostuff.org is our main savior here when we were looking for getting this fixed, has like really comprehensive articles about, here's like, oh yeah, if you're having the memory full error, it's a timekeeper issue. Here are like the different versions of timekeeper chips that are out there, and here are step-by-step instructions on how to replace them, and like they've got all that figured out. There's a homebrew game like in the year 2022. Their name's TW Byrne, made Nobelia, which we've streamed before. We're not going to play it tonight because, you know, we're doing this instead. But go check out our Nobelia streams in our VODs. People are dedicated enough to the CDI that they made an honest-to-God homebrew game for the CDI. And it's probably the closest thing that console's ever had to like having a real game on it. No, like, Nobelia is awesome. I think it's probably the best CDI game we've ever played, which I know is not saying a lot, but no, it actually is a legitimately good game. But, like, you go and buy Nobelia, and, like, there are two options. You can get the physical version, where they send you, like, the actual CDI disc with a really cool done-up jewel case and, like, lovely art and everything. Or you can get the digital download. And the digital download, if you get the digital version of Nobelia, they just give you an ISO file that you're supposed to download and then burn to a CDR so that it becomes a CDI, you know, something readable to a CDI player, and then you go play it on hardware again. Like, you don't just get a Nobelia ROM. There's no such thing. Like, even though there's a dedicated enough community to make homebrew for CDI, like, they still just assume that you're playing on hardware. And I assume there's some technical reason for that, like something about the system makes it harder to emulate than other consoles, but I'm not enough of a tech wizard to know what that would be. But it just, like, there are a couple emulators out there, so people have tried, but they just don't work. And for the most part, like, even though there is a dedicated CDI community, which I guess we're sort of part of if we're doing streams like this now, they just play on hardware. I guess they did the same thing we did, where we tried emulating and then just kind of gave up because it doesn't work. And we just, like, we know how to fix timekeeper chips. Even if your hardware's broken, we know how to fix it, but we don't know how to make a working emulator. I don't know. Anyway, so this is Rainbow Walk. I don't know what it is exactly, but it's the additional content.
Let's go take a look at the Rainbow Walk.
Comparable to Lost Sheep in Story of Jonah or Desert quest in
Welcome to the Rainbow
Moses
Walk. Search for the
journey to
letters
the Promised
of the
Land.
highlighted word. If you find all of them, you will restore color to this dark gray land.
Search for all the colors, which is that's quite a spectrum there between the two of those. So I don't know which one this will be closer to. Okay, well, we've got more of a point-and-click interface. This already looks a lot more game-like than Desert Quest could ever hope to be. I haven't actually done anything here yet. Do we have letters, huh? I was going to say, do we have an inventory? Is this an actual point-and-click? We've got... I mean, we're pointing at things. We're clicking, I guess. What happens if you... These things are magnifying glass.
Why would a compliment from a chicken be an insult? Because it would be foul language.
Why? What? I think the bigger question is why that happened when we clicked on that, but okay.
Hey, why couldn't they play cards on the Ark? Because Noah sat on the deck.
So is this game just about like searching through a pile of dad jokes to find whatever it is we're looking for? What is this? Okay, well that's just
A cheerful look brings joy to the heart.
So I assume we're looking for... They said we're looking for colors. Well, I mean, there's the help screen light here. So what are we doing exactly?
If you want information on any of the items you see, click on that item or click on the question mark again for game instructions. Try to find all the letters of the highlighted words in the sentence you saw when you entered the game. Look for these letters by clicking on the picture when you see the magnifying glass. If you find a letter, you will see a bag on the screen. If you want to see the letters you have discovered so far, click on the bag at the bottom of the screen. While you're looking, you'll find lots of other fun things. When you found all the letters, you'll see a beautiful restored city.
I'm sorry, there was a sentence when we started this? I totally missed that. Let's restart, because I want to see the sentence now. And it's not like we're very far in, right? So apparently there's a sentence we're looking for the letters for?
Welcome to the Rainbow
That's a
Walk.
long sentence.
Search for the letters of the highlighted word.
Oh, the word,
if you
okay.
Find all of them, you will restore color to
We're
this
looking for
dark
the letters
gray
of the
land.
word persist. Okay. So is this just is this like a Where's Waldo kind of thing? Are we just looking for letters, or no? It's a pixel hunt is what it is. We're just looking on like anything that makes the God. I wish we had a working roller controller for this. I'm gonna make it a lot better than the default controller. But just looking for things that give you the magnifying glass, and I guess eventually we'll find one that gives you a letter?
Whoever finds God finds life.
Okay, I'm sure if we click on the wrong doors, we'll get into trouble. Nope, sorry, wrong game, but like, what the heck? Well, I haven't found any letters so far, so we're not off to a great start, I gotta say. I found a couple awful jokes, but...
Sharing is caring. Sharing is caring.
Wait, that's not what it was last time we played this. Is it randomized? It's not random. They wouldn't randomize this.
When is a boy like a pony? When he's a little horse.
We definitely clicked on those before, and that's not what happened.
What bird should be able to lift the heaviest weights?
The crane.
Okay, so those cricket noises, those used to be up here. This is Hansel and Gretel in the Enchanted Castle. That's what this is. That skull is going to show up and tell the witch if we don't find the letters and get out of this room before too long. But we can't leave until we find the shrinking powder, you guys.
What?
No, I heard that one already.
Heaviest weights?
The crane.
What?
See, they don't really make it clear where one object ends and another begins.
The crane.
Oh, we found a letter, I think. Wait, that was it? There's just one letter per screen, and once you find it, it just you go off to the next. Okay. Well, what's there to...
A good name is more desirable than great riches.
What's there to solve, I guess? You're just really just clicking on things until one of them happens to have the letter. Okay, we definitely just got in trouble there. Yeah, it's really like the challenge is just this is just a straight up pixel hunt is what it is. That is not a small object we just clicked on like that right there. Was that like the corner of the building there? Well, I'm concerned now. I have concerns. This is normal. We're just having a normal one, you guys. Just some good, wholesome Interlight entertainment. I wouldn't know. I don't actually know what Sparks sounds like. I'm kind of a heathen in that way, or a Philistine. I never got around to playing those games, but... It might have, Gabe? The Interlights tend to do that, I guess, or at least Lost Sheep did. I guess Desert Quest, the real horror was just how underwhelming it was, but it wasn't like, you know, scary horror or anything. It was just like wow, this is actually kind of hard to watch horror, but this is definitely closer to the Lost Sheep end of, not in gameplay, because this is just a point. This is just a find the hidden object is what it is, but it's definitely has Lost Sheep levels of concern. Right, we got that one already. There it is. That is such a small object. Wow. How do they expect you to... This is not an easy hidden object find. This really is a pixel hunt. Like a pixel hunt is in like the actual, like, the way the term originated as a derivative way to, like a disparaging way to describe like point and click adventure games where where the thing you needed to find and point and click at was like a pixel or two, or something absurdly small like that. So you spent most of your time playing it just waving the mouse around the screen like a metal detector, and just hoping that the object comes into the crosshairs at some point. Like, it's that kind of point and click. It's that kind of pixel hunt. I'm literally just doing this now, because these are not big objects.
Let us walk in the light of the Lord.
Is that the same one?
Let us walk in the light of the Lord.
So that tower there is an object, I guess. Oops, heck. Having a bit of controller drift here. Oh, there's a light here. See, this tiny light, like this street lamp here, or it's not a street lamp, this light that's attached to the house is going to be a separate object from this door here, I'll bet. That is not a big object. This lamp here.
Oh, now this bee has a good attitude. Now, where do you think it learned that? The Beatitudes in Matthew 5, verses 3 through 12.
Liberty, I blame you for that joke somehow. That's like the kind of jokes that you learn from being homeschooled or something.
Now here's a tough question. 3 men were under one umbrella, but none of them got wet. How did they do it? Give up? It wasn't raining.
Oh, found it. Okay, so we got 4 more of these. We are indeed persisting. That is absolutely what we're doing at this point. This is accurate now. This screw, like, not just this whole plank here, but this one individual screw. Oh no, it is a whole plank. Okay. I was gonna say, that is a... Well, okay, that was lucky. Sarah says we need to find which one of these windows Prin is hiding in. Oh my god.
Those who trust in the Lord are like a mountain which cannot be shaken. They endure forever.
Why do the windows scream at us? Why does this game have that? Why?
Hey, why couldn't they play cards on the ark? Because Noah sat on the deck.
Why does this game just occasionally jump scare you with when you're just trying to find letters? Why would they do this? That's somehow even worse than the scream.
When was pork first introduced into the Navy? When Noah brought ham into the ark.
Okay, but why did Mickey Mouse have to be the one to tell us that one? Why is there a heartbeat in the well? This is getting more and more concerning by the click, you guys. But we will persist. That's what the letters say to do. close are we? Per se. Okay. Yeah, I am kind of trying to make an environment where everyone can be comfortable and cozy and uh, not not step on each other's toes. So please, please be respectful. These are some genuinely awful dad jokes here, but they're like charmingly awful dad jokes. You know, they're like you groan at them, but you kind of gotta respect them, I guess, because yeah, that was pretty awful. Well done. I mean, if you're that genuinely having a bad time, then you don't have to watch. But I mean, I do want people to have a good time. No, it's okay. Thank you for your support. Sometimes addressing these things is a team effort when, you know, when like I was kind of too shy to say it and you were kind of too shy to say it, and then someone had to be the one to break the ice. But it did, yeah. No, I think we're good, and thank you for addressing that. It did get to be a little much. Um, I just want everyone to be comfortable overall. And like, if it was getting spammy enough that you were having a problem, that you just ultimately couldn't take it anymore, then that's a problem because you're not comfortable in our stream, and I want everyone in our stream to be comfortable. That's the goal. This is the warm fuzzy game room. If you're not warm and fuzzy, then we're doing our job wrong. So if there's something we can do to address that and to make your stay cozier, in this case, asking someone to please kind of, you know, like not spam that as much, you know, it happens, and it's okay. I don't think I feel like everyone has the right to say, you know, and this isn't just this particular instance. I should stop and kind of make a PSA out of this in general. Like if there's anything about our streams, about the people you're sharing this stream space with, like our hosts, your fellow chatters, anyone, if something's uncomfortable, everyone here, to the extent that we're able to provide that, has a right to be comfortable and have a good time, and, you know, do everything they can to enjoy this evening and everything, and every evening we're here. Now, I do ask people to be respectful. You know, don't just like just be rude and like flame people. But like if there's a problem, then we need to work that out. And like just holding it in that does not solve the problem. All that does is it gets you more and more aggravated until it eventually just blows up like that, and that's where the flaming happens. Like, could that have been addressed a little more, a little earlier and in a little more polite manner instead of just sitting on it until it blew up like that? Yeah, and a part of that's on me too, because I didn't say anything either. Because it's hard to speak up like that sometimes. It really is. I understand not wanting to make a scene until you can't take it anymore. We're guilty of the same exact thing right there. We did that too. And we weren't even the ones who even said anything in the end. Like, we still would have just kind of sat there and took it. So if anything, I thank you for being the one to break the ice, because we weren't going to, so you're stronger than we are. But so this may be a bit of a do as I say, not as I do kind of thing, but I do want people to feel like they should if there's a problem, and you can approach us privately if you want to, and we can try and work it out privately, but like if there's a problem, like however we can work it out so that everyone can get along and we can have a good time here, because we're just here to have a good time tonight. We're like, this is a video, ultimately at the end of the day, this is a video about CDI preservation. Like, everything I've been saying for like the past 5 or 10 minutes, however long I got on this whole soapbox here, is distracting from, like, people are going to be watching this VOD because they want to see this game. They don't want to see, like chat room breakdowns. And that's, again, a lot of that's my fault because I probably should have been, well, I'm kind of oblivious to when there's a problem until someone says something. So I think a lot of that is just I didn't even notice until it happened. And I'm sorry that I didn't notice. I should have been more aware. But I'm sorry that I'm not aware. That's my failing. But I do want, yeah. So I'll get back to the game here because, yeah, we are here for the game ultimately. But I feel like, yeah. Well, you're stronger than we are because you were able to say something. We never did. But yeah, you like could have warned him a lot earlier and gentler. That I kind of agree on. But like that's the thing we've learned from our friend groups, talking to people, and a lot of the issues we've had with our other friends. Not even related to this game, but just like in general. If you bite your tongue for too long, all it does is turn into a volcano later. And I'm again, like, I have no right to say this on a night where I myself failed to act, but like in general, that should be the lesson we take from this, is if there's a problem, it's like better. It's not easier, but it's better to work it out early when you can still be gentle about it, rather than just letting it go on and like the person who's doing wrong, like they didn't even know, because no one told them, right? Like in my case tonight, I didn't say anything until it blew up because I just didn't notice that there was a problem. But yeah, all that does is then you take someone who kept doing it and kept doing it and kept doing it because they didn't realize that there wasn't a problem, and then all of a sudden they just get their head bitten off, and that's no fun for anyone. But it's fine. We'll take this. We'll learn from it. We'll all try to do better next time, ourselves included. I'll try to be a little more observant. I'll probably still miss things, but if there's a problem, I'll try to speak up earlier. But I do just, at the end of the day, I just want everyone to be happy here and be warm and cozy here. And that does not mean, because a lot of people tend to get the definitions confused, that does not mean that, like, everyone's welcome, even if poor behavior, like if you're, we're trying to make an inclusive space, but if there are people that, like, including them makes it harder on everyone else, then you kind of have to step in. And that does mean getting people to knock it off sometimes, just in the name of making everyone comfortable. Because at the end of the day, we've all got to be comfortable here. We've all got to have, this is the warm fuzzy game room. This is something where we all should be having a good time. And I might have failed to deliver that experience tonight. If so, I apologize, and we'll get back to the game, and then hopefully it'll be better from there. But that is the goal to strive for. And I'm not going to sit here and beat myself up all night over it or anything like, oops, I messed up, it happens. But we'll just get back to it, and we'll just do better next time. That's the key, I think. Like, instead of just sitting here and like, oh, the night's ruined because things went off the rails there. Like, okay, that got messed up. How can we fix it? How can we get back to it? And right now I can already hear everyone who's watching this video, like through time, is screaming at me to just shut up and get back to the game already, so I'm going to do that. But yeah, that just means like it's not the end of the world if things go wrong. It just means learn from it, do better next time, and that's what we're going to try and do.
Put on the whole armor of God so that you can stand up against the powers of evil.
We might not do that. That might not be how I would have described it. I mean, that's one way to describe it. That's not our way of describing it. But that's...
Hey, why are laws like the ocean? Because the most trouble is caused by the breakers.
The armor of God does not include pants. That's very good to know. That's, I feel like I've learned something today. I feel like we've learned a lot of things today, honestly. This has been a very educational evening. I don't know why there's a heart behind that door. This is still kind of weird, but... Whoops, I clicked on that one already, sorry. Yeah, there's a letter around here somewhere. Oh yeah, Liberty's, like I said, you're our Bible expert. I know you may scoff at the title, but like compared to us? Really, it was in that giant door the whole time while we were looking for like these tiny little like single bricks in this wall, like this tiny little window right here, things like that, and it was just in the biggest freaking door on the front center of the map, really. Isn't that just our luck? Persists. Okay, so I think this should be the last one, I think. I don't know why there's a rocking chair behind that. I don't know why any of these. And like I said, I think they're actually randomized. Like, it's not like someone decided that the most appropriate thing when you click on this particular window should be a sound of a rocking chair. I think they just mixed them up. I think... Now, the question is why someone decided that playing the sound of a rocking chair should just be in the pool of reactions that happen when you click on various things. But I mean, I'll take that over the blood-curdling scream, I guess. Well, what? Is it not a rocking... What else is that, then? I thought it was a rocking chair. And yeah, I guess you can kind of see a progression here, because Moses, Journey to the Promised Land, was the first game Interlight made. So Desert Quest was their first extra content kind of game. This is their second. And then Story of Jonah, which is the one that has Lost Sheep, is their third. Now, I don't know if that means the later ones are just going to keep getting better and better. I don't know if it's going to be a straight line all the way up, and like the sixth one is just going to be like, you know, actual game quality game. Maybe it's more of a zigzag, but like if you look at those three, there's definitely a pattern of they started kind of weak and then got better. This one, I agree. It's definitely better than Desert Quest. It's not as good as Lost Sheep.
Say, down on our farm, we had a hen that laid an egg 6 inches long. Can you beat that, boy?
Oh, yeah, with an egg beater.
But it's got the point-and-click interface, which automatically makes it at least interesting. Now, see, this door is not even an interactable object. It's, but yeah, this one's like a point-and-click the way Hansel and Gretel was a point-and-click. It's definitely just like there's a bunch of objects on this screen that do various goofy things when you click on them, and then one of them has the letter, and you just need to find it. We clicked on this one already, right? I think. No, we didn't, but I regret. I have regrets. The 6-inch egg sounds like that's where they'd be hiding the letter, if anything. We're close though. This is literally the last one, I think. There it was. It was in that tiny little tower in the background. We persisted. We persisted. We did it. And now things are in color again. And now it kind of looks like King's Quest VI.
Congratulations. You've restored color to Greyland.
Way to persist, team. Excellent. And it just kind of drops you back here. Well, okay. Yeah, that was better than Desert Quest, not as good as Lost Sheep. Is a good middle area. Good place to put it. So yeah, I guess that means we've got 2 more songs, then that'll do it for this disc. So we'll actually get 2 entire discs out of the way tonight, which is more than I was expecting to. Considering how many entire streams we devoted to just like Story of Jonah, Lost Sheep, like by itself, the fact that we could do 2, like everything on the disc, like complete content dumps, like of 2 entire other games in one stream. That's a lot. I'm feeling pretty accomplished tonight.
Noah was a man, the one in all the land the Lord trusted through and through. The Lord told Noah, build a great boat, and I will tell you what to do.
Not bad. Not bad.
With his hammer in his hand,
I've definitely heard worse.
with his wife and his faithful sons. People laughed and they jeered and they snickered and they sneered. That is until the work was done.
And thank you once again for the facial expressions.
And the rain was falling and the wind was blowing and the storm was
This one's kind of pretty.
And Noah and his family were safe and sound as the rain came tumbling down. Now then of the animals, the reptiles, the mammals, the birds, and the insects too. He told Noah and his sons, well, your work isn't done until you've gathered them 2 by 2.
Now see, this doesn't mention the ones that there were apparently 7 of.
And they came from the valleys, from underneath the firmament. Noah gathered them in pairs, even elephants and bears, and into the ark they went. And the rain was falling, and the wind was blowing, and the storm waters covered the ground. And Noah and his family were safe and sound as the rain came tumbling down.
Yeah, I didn't even know there were groups of 7 until you told. That's why you're our Bible expert.
If there is a lesson in the story after all, there is happiness and joy for every girl and every boy who listen to God's call.
Thank you, Ditherian. That's actually a really good way of thinking about it. I would not have made that connection, but you know what? Yeah, actually. That is true. If there's two things Liberty knows, it's the Bible and math. Which is why I'm sure all these tell me more asides about the exact dimensions of the arc and qubits and whatnot is just perfect content for Liberty. So you know what? There actually aren't any, like, completely awful songs on this one. They're passable, they're pretty, they're listenable. Everything on this one has been listenable. I can already tell you from having heard them growing up, that is not true on Story of Jonah. There are some good ones on Story of Jonah, but there are some... Oh boy. Not looking forward to playing some of those. I know we have to for preservation, but I apologize in advance. But compared to that, these ones are fine. There isn't actually a single track on Noah's Ark that was a just straight up miss on the sing-alongs. That facial expression is awesome. We need to make that into an icon or emote or something.
Noah did right in the sight of God. He obeyed his father above. He did right in the sight of God. So God put a rainbow in the sky.
I think we're getting back into like the early 90s, like take out your candle and wave it around kind of music here. You think so? I think so far my favorite, which you wouldn't know because we haven't played it on stream yet, my favorite is one of the ones from Story of Jonah. My least favorite is also one of the ones from Story of Jonah. This one is very consistently in the middle to like slightly above average. Like everything here is a solid B minus to B or so, whereas Story of Jonah has like a couple A minus ones and like an F. But you know, it's got higher highs, lower lows. This one's consistent, and it's consistently not bad. Anyway, I think that's everything on this disc. I don't think we need to play, I don't think we need to be revisiting Rainbow Walk now that we've gone through that. I think that's pretty much, we've experienced all there is to experience in Rainbow Walk. Again, the About This Disc video is the same one as always. We've seen that before. Tell me more stuff we saw, cartoon we saw, we did all the playroom stuff. So yeah, that's Noah's Ark. So we have in fact done 2 Interlight games in one night. That's amazing. And with that, I think I'm going to wrap this stream up. So let me just switch over to this screen here. And let's see who's on, and we'll find someone to pass you all off to.